getting ready, baby. We getting ready, baby. I know you can't see me yet. Give me a minute and you will. But I am buzzing to get into some Winterspell. Let's go. Give me a moment. Get this music down a little bit. Alright, bring it down to about there. And a little bit more. Alright, let me know if the background music needs to come down a little bit, because quite often when I watch back my streams, I'm like, yo, that was way too loud. It should be sitting nicely under the tone of my voice. Let me know if it is, or if I need to adjust it a little bit more. Welcome on in. It's time. Welcome to Lorcana Villain, and my name is Baker. And today, we're going to be opening up a box of Lorcana Set 11 Winterspell, which is looking like it's going to be a really fun and exciting set. I'm buzzing to get into it. I'm just getting my cases ready and my workstation, my battle stations, as it were. Right, hold on. Let me switch real quick. Let me switch real quick. There we go. We are switched. All right, let me switch the music. Something that is like a 2-hour mega mix. Let's get that down a bit. A little quieter in my ear. I don't need it that loud. Yeah, let me know if the background music needs to come down a little bit more. I don't want to be competing with the background music. I don't want to have to do that. I've had a long few weeks. I've had a very privileged and very lucky few weeks. Very exciting, very happy. Lots of cool things. But your boy is shattered. So I expect I will get loud over the course of this stream as we open some hopefully super good packs. And then we're going to do a tier list based on the competitive meta game for as many cards as we can get through for Winterspell. I'll probably prioritize like the more obviously interesting and good ones. And we'll probably look to the chat to make suggest when we're not there yet. We're going to start with the box opening. Up my mic a tad. Someone says down music. Someone says up mic. So maybe we need to do like a happy medium. I got you. A little bit down with the music, and a touch up with the microphone. Okay, I've fiddled. Does this sound like a nice balance? Does it sound like a nice balance? But yeah, we're gonna start with the box opening. And then when we finish that, we will we're gonna do a tier list. I've got one waiting. Look, I'll show you. I will show you because I am a professional. Sometimes. There we go. Here we have the tier list that we will be doing for Winterspell. Again, we might not do every single card here. We'll start with the most obvious ones. Is this every card? I hope it's every card. Someone let me know if this is missing any obvious cards, because if so, I need to find a different tier list maker. But yeah, we'll do as many of the obviously interesting and good ones as we possibly can. That is the plan for this evening. Let me have a little catch up with the chat. Let me go up to the top. We got aggressive grubs. Let's go, Baker. Going to pull an Enchanted. I certainly hope so. Welcome on in. We got the Mad Cat, one of my members. Good luck with the box. This set looks amazing. It does look really, really cool. I don't know if it's going to beat Whispers in the Well, but I think there's definitely some stuff to be very excited for tonight. We got Mary Zilla, Lorcana Empress. Let's go. Good to see you, Mary. Hope you're doing well. We got Planet Sadala. Welcome on in. Spartan Sickles. Let's rip some packs. That's the plan. We've got, I can't see. We got, is it Ellen? Elskoken. I always worry that I'm saying your name wrong, but I know you're a long-time viewer and member, and I appreciate you very much. Welcome on in. We got Villain Chris Gray. Love to see a villain. We got Bunny Lee, who is responsible, by the way. We just go back to the lair. Bunny Lee in chat is responsible for the creation of this lair. She has done every lair that we've had since the channel began. We've had 3 across time. And this is the most recent one. She didn't animate it, but she did all the base art, and I am super, super, super happy with it, as I'm sure many of you will agree. It is an absolute work of art, so very grateful for you being up in here, Bunny Lee. Good to see you. Aggressively Rubs again. We've got Eric. How you doing, Eric? Eric, who has helped me out with collecting some foils over Disney Lorcana challenges, which is always great. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing? We've got Jeffrey, Iconic Moana coming. If I was going to pick, I would rather have the Pocahontas. To be honest. Get that Raging Storm, Baker. Yo, we singing tonight a whole new quest. Good to see you. I hope you're well. All right, here we go. We got 38 people in the chat, 3 likes on the stream. Can we fix that maps? Just a little bit. Can we fix that maths just the tiniest bit? Now, before we get into the box, because I know that's what most people wants to see, I do want to show off a couple of things. First of all, let's put that box aside for a moment. Look at this playmat. I know some of you have seen this before. I talked about it in a video and I posted it on Twitter. But I went to Miami TCGcon a couple of weekends ago. And it was an epic time. Video coming for that for members only within the next week or so. But where I'm going to go into a lot of detail. But just general overview, had an incredible time, met a lot of amazing people. Got to run a panel with the voice actress for Lily in Pokemon, Laurie Himes, which was absolutely surreal. That's actually going to go up on my old YouTube channel because it's Pokemon based, so I don't want to put it on Lorcana Villain because any aspiring content creators out there, the worst thing you can do is diversify your content too much. There are ways of getting around it. Like let's take Spessy for example. He does TCGs. Say if it's different TCGs, that's fine. But if I suddenly started uploading a video of me interviewing a voice actor from Pokemon, then it's not going to catch the algorithm the right way. So I'm probably going to put it up on my old channel. But an incredible weekend. I got some artists to do some art on one of my Villain Club mats. This is by Whitney Pollitt, who in terms of Lorcana did the Enchanted Eeyore, the Conniving Chemist, and also did the Chapter 1 Elsa, not the Amethyst one, the Ruby one. Didn't see a lot of play, but great art. And she's done tons of art for Disney over the years in different avenues, different subsections of Disney. But this is Whitney Pollitt. She did the Eeyore cat for me, which I'm super happy with. Big fan of that. Let me get the chart up so I can see y'all's. Over here we have the famous Nicholas Cole, the artist for the Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tailor. Worked with John Lauren on cards like the Enchanted Ursula Deceiver of All. Did the original Mickey Mouse Wayward Sorcerer. Did the Scar Vicious Cheetah, the Ruby one. Nicholas Cole, a seasoned artist beyond just Disney and Lorcana, but has done a lot of Lorcana cards. And here we have a beautiful Ursula done by the man himself. And then two slightly more unique artists. They have contributed towards Lorcana. This is Tom and Tony Bancroft, who are quite famous among Disney animators. They worked on a ton of films during the Renaissance era of Disney. Worked on Aladdin, Mulan, The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Emperor's New Groove, like a ton of your favorite Disney films. These two were two of the senior animators for. On the left here in particular, Tony Bancroft created Iago. Like, not just worked on the animation, that would be cool enough. Created Iago, guys. Like, designed Iago from scratch, and then from the story I heard, did like 90% of the animation for Aladdin. In Aladdin for Iago. His brother, they are twin brothers by the way, Tom Bancroft did like the other 10% on Iago, so they both worked on Iago, but Tony actually invented Iago. And I have this on my playmat now by the guy that illustrated and designed this character. How cool is that? Like, can I just geek out over that for a moment? How sick is that the guy that created Iago did this? I'm sorry, I'm super impressed. And then we've got Tom Bancroft over here. Did not create Jafar. Is actually more well known for creating Mushu. Bro created Mushu. Designed Mushu from scratch. And worked intently on Jafar. I think from what I remember him telling me, he was one of like 3 primary animators for Jafar, and he was actually selling stills that were used in the animation process for Aladdin. Again, back in the day, animators could get away with like keeping their drawings after they've been used for like actually putting the film together. You won't get that now. It's all put in storage, obviously. But back in the day, it was a lot easier for animators to kind of get away with some of it. And he was selling stills that were actually used in Aladdin. They were like $400 or $500 each, which even that is a bargain. I couldn't afford it, otherwise I would have bought one. But he was one of the primary animators on Jafar and did this Jafar for me there. So I am so happy with this mat. And the other thing I am going to very quickly show off, I actually haven't, you probably haven't seen this before, is those two artists, Tony and Tom Bancroft. They did Pokemon Trainer, let's go! They did Learn to Draws seminars at the at Miami TCGcon. So like it was an hour with Liam hosting, and they were just with paper and a white and a what's the word? Not a palette, that's to do with paints. A board to put the paper on. I've lost the technical word, but nonetheless, they were doing Learn to Draws. And they drew a lot of things during that time, and Liam got to... Some of them they ended up selling at the event. Some were given to Liam, or I think Liam paid for them. I managed somehow to get away with 3 like drawings that were done by Tom Bancroft. So look at this Jafar, like actually illustrated by the guy that did that Jafar there. Bag old. Look at this. Look, this is insane. Also managed to get away with this Iago by the same guy, by Tom Bancroft. Now this one wasn't drawn by Tony, who created Iago, but as I already said, Tom, his twin brother, also worked on Iago, so he was one of the animators for Iago. So I got away with this. And then this one is for my mum. This one I originally didn't ask for, but at the end of the weekend when the artists were packing their stuff away, Tony, who created Iago, basically one of the drawings that he did, it didn't sell. So at the end of the day when they were packing up, he literally turned around to all the like nearby staff and was like, does anyone want this or I'm going to throw it away? And I was like, I'll have it. And another character that Tony Bancroft created, who is illustrated here, is Pumbaa. Bro created Pumbaa, the primary animator and designer of Pumbaa. And he drew this. And it's now for my mum. I was like, yo, if you're just going to throw it away, I will take that and I will give it to my mum and she will love it. Because I'm not giving her Jafar and Iago, they're mine. She can sod off. But anyway, apologise for the show and tell. I know people came for card openings and then tier lists, and we're going to get to that in a moment. But I just had to. We got the podcast up in here, yo. I'm loving the new show. I don't know if I'm assuming it's Garrick that's controlling the socials. But I'm loving Garrick and Sky taking up Podcarna. It's awesome. I'm halfway through the latest episode at the moment with Spessy. But huge supporter of you two taking it over, guys. Honestly, excuse me. I just ate before I came here, so forgive me. Yeah, I think it's absolutely awesome that you guys are taking over Podcarna. It's a very valued part of the value. Yeah, it's a valued part of the community, and I'm just super happy to see it continue. And I think you've kept the standard really high, which is a big compliment because, you know, Moyen, Kawa, Brandon, like that was a big Brendan, sorry, that was a big standard to keep, right? And even then after Moyen and Brendan had walked away and it was Kawa and Bivens and Thiago and Sky, but yeah, Garrick and Sky, I'm super excited for pushing on and keeping Podcarna alive. So shout out to you guys. So yeah, back to the main event. Let's get my camera down a little bit so you guys can see what's going on. A shout out to the channel sponsor Matified. If you're looking for foiled or custom or foiled playmats, that way round, including my own Villain Club mats, doesn't come with illustrations, but please check out Cardmart. Yo. Not anymore. Check out Matified. Right, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna stop chatting. And let's dive into set 11, Winterspell. Before anyone asks, no, the European creators did not also get the Winterspell mugs, and we didn't get a trove either. We got a playmat, and we got this booster box. And a huge thank you to Ravensburger for sending these over. It is always a privilege for us content creators to get this stuff ahead of schedule, ahead of time, to make some content over it. So forever grateful to Ravensburger for sending me said playmat and this beautiful box. But no, we didn't get the mug. I want the mug. I have mug envy. I heard Spessy said that earlier. I have mug envy. I was like, yeah, that's the... And the beanie, right? But again, very, very grateful. Like, yo, I'm sitting here with a box of Winterspell. May I never come across as ungrateful for what we get, right? Because that is absolutely huge. Yo, Kim is going to sew us a beanie. Appreciate it. Mugs, yeah. I'm hoping that the mugs become publicly available, like mainstream on the prize wall or something. We'll see. Anyway, let's dive into the first pack of the day. After we've opened this box, we are going to do a tier list, so that'll be the time where we talk a bit more in depth about the cards we're actually pulling. But new marketing card. This one's showing off the the Ruby puzzle, which I absolutely need to get. Y'all know I'm a Ruby stan. And we got puzzle pieces, yo. We will absolutely be doing the puzzle at the end. Right, I'm going to put this up here. Let's get cooking. We've got right, so red, blue, green, purple, yellow, steel. Red, blue, green, purple, yellow, steel. Okay, so we've got Lilo. We've got Darkwing Duck. We've got Boomer. Force of a Great Typhoon. We've got Blue Smoke. We've got Amos Slade. We've got Christopher Robin, new underdog. We've got Angel, a very good-looking underdog. We've got Grab Your Sword, Grab Your Bow. Da, 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 da. Yo, guys, what did you think of the card reveal? What? Oh, yeah, I'm covering myself up by putting the box there. My bad. What did y'all think of the card reveal, guys? Be honest. Be honest. The dev meeting, pitch meeting parody. Your opinions, let me know. But good to get my reveal card. Grab Your Bow. Timon, that's going to be a pretty good card if I don't say so myself. We've got Dr. Hamstervile. Hamsterville? Hamstervile? Hamsterville. Hamstervile? Hamsterville. Hamstervile? Hamsterville. You tell me. And our foil, it's a super rare. It's going to be Nani's Payback. You'll love to see it. Let's sleeve that up. Let's sleeve that up. Get Baker a mug that says the tears of my players. Sincerely, one of his D&D players. That's true. I have been making my D&D party cry as of late. As of late, your acting was Golden Globe, but not Oscar worthy. Okay, I can accept that. I can accept that. What do I got to do? Florian Wicked 4529 to get to Oscar worthy. Veal rhymes with wheel. Okay, there we go. There we go. Gordon Kane coming in with a big advice. You'd love to see it. We got the Play Hub. Oh, we've got lore. We'll do lore and puzzle stuff later. Lore and puzzle stuff later. Accents were on point. It wasn't it was far from perfect. I kept switching from winter to winter. I definitely a couple of times said it right, winter. But a couple of times I did not. So it was definitely not a perfect accent. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not trying to make excuses. But that was filmed like super quick. Like one take. Between my trips from Richmond and Miami, and like I definitely think I could have done better, to be honest. I put that in the wrong place. We got Mega Duck, we got Tiny Tim's Crutch. Yo, you know what I find funny about this card, this item card? The double steel pile. Yeah, I got there, Arctic Fox, but thank you for looking out for your boy. 72 people in chat, welcome on in. We've only just started opening a box of Winterspell. Do please hit that like button for your boy. Let YouTube know that the stream be cooking. But yeah, do you know what I find funny about Tiny Tim's Crutch? Is that there are plenty of item cards in Lorcana which are insert name of character, insert name of thing. So Captain Hook's rapier, Peter Pan's dagger, etc, etc. And we look at those items and we just go, yeah, it's the item, it's the weapon, the item, the accessory that belongs to that character. They're just not holding it at that exact moment. Cool. But we all looked at this one, Tiny Tim's Crutch, and went, yeah, it's because he's dead. Just an observation. Just an observation. You tell me if I'm pushing it. We've got Donald Duck. We've got Simba. We've got Education or Elimination, which I think is going to be a pretty good card. We've got Gosselin Mallard. This was done by French, who is an incredible artist and a wonderful person. Had the pleasure of meeting him at Lore League last year in Italy. We've got Willy the Giant, Grandma Tala, and our foil is going to be Alice. Yo, big Alice. Let's go. Let's go. Well, that's dark. It's true though, right? Am I telling? Tell me when I'm telling lies. That's like the whole community looked at Tiny Tim's Crutch and was like, "Aww," and it's like, yeah, because at this moment in the depiction of Mickey Mouse's Christmas Carol, he is banished. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Learn today UK doesn't have the collector's guides. Thinking of these lore cards, petition to get them. Do we not have the lore? We're getting them though, right? We are getting the collector's guide, surely. Give me that foil out. It's got a collection of foil Wonderland cards. I'm pretty partial to some Wonderland myself. We've got Sarabi, which I hear from Humble in the Ruby Amber testing. He's in the tank. He's in the testing tank, trying to get Simba to work. And I hear from him that this with Headless Horseman is pretty damn good. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, I'm very much enjoying the development of Humble's red-yellow deck. Shout out to Humble. We've got Darkwing Duck, we've got Aladdin, we've got Iduna, Honker Muddlefoot, Nearly Indestructible, we've got Mickey Mouse. Makes me think of Braden Bodish for some reason. We've got Rabbit, we've got Li Shang, we've got Containment Unit, We've got Big Todd. Todd's looking like he's going to be pretty good this set. And our foil is going to be John Smith. Big up John Smith. Excited for Pocahontas to be in the game. But still no Governor Radcliffe. You've got to hope that that is purely because they're waiting until next set when they can let me reveal it. Am I right? Rochelle, are you in chat? Tiny Tim is banished is a phrase I'm bringing out this Christmas, no question. Absolutely. Absolutely. To be fair, in the canon of Mickey Mouse's Christmas Carol, there's never actually a point where, in reality, Tiny Tim dies. It's just the Ghost of Christmas Future showing him a potential reality if he doesn't change his ways. It's still pretty sad, isn't it? We've got Fangmaya, we've got Pua. Aladdin, I do not. I swear I had those two in a row a moment ago. Distract, the terror that flaps in the night. Goated art. We've got Chen Po, Mother's Necklace, Big Chief, Kristoff, Morty Fieldmouse, Tiny Tim. Yo, that's a shock. That his primary name isn't Tiny Tim. I suppose, yeah, this is the real name, but Tiny Tim's his nickname. I don't know, though. I felt like, instinctively, I would have felt like Tiny Tim would have been the primary name, but oh well. And our foil is going to be Stitch. While you have a Lilo in play, this character gets Challenger 3. Stats. You cannot mention as getting the guides and the press release as of yet. It looks like I'm off to the US for it. Bro, surely we're going to get them at some point. It's the potential future of Tiny Tim's Grudge. Yeah, absolutely. It never actually is reality. It's Grim Reaper Pete showing Scrooge what's going to happen if he don't change his ways. Personally, I'd have risked it. Personally, I think Scrooge is just a bit of a coward, and he should have seen all that and been like, and I care why? I'm rich, right? Let me cook. Minnie Mouse, marching off to battle, but the only girl who'd love him is his mother. We got Nani. Taran, this was done by Emily Abadira, who is the artist for Be King Undisputed. Lovely woman. I've met her a couple of times in the UK. Grandmother Willow, this is going to be a very good card. We'll talk about it later. We've got Mulan, Mystical Inkcaster, Goofy, the ghost of Jacob Marley, and our foil is going to be Iduna. So nothing too fancy yet concerning the foils, but we got plenty of time to go. Winterspell will be my first pre-release. Any colours to really hope for, look at in this set in Limited. Yeah, so we're going to be doing a tier list after I've opened this box, which probably won't take too long, within the next 15-20 minutes. So we can discuss that a little bit more when we get to it, and we can talk about some of the key and interesting cards for sure. We've got Donald Duck, we've got Kanga, Li Shang, Big Mama, shake that thing that make you go mama. We've got Gigi. It's Gigi, right? It's not Gigi, it's Gigi. Gigi. We've got Ruben, another very interesting card that I think is going to have a lot of potential. The Thunder Quack, and our foil. Oh, it's an epic. We got our first epic, ladies and gentlemen. We got Mushu Epic. Let's go. First epic of the day. 5 cost, uninkable, 3/2, quest for 3. And when you play this character, deal 2 damage to chosen character. It's not bad. It's just not inkable, is it? Which is the problem. We got 100 people in chat. Welcome on in. Good to see ya, my villains. We're opening up a box of Winterspell. A huge thank you to Ravensburger for sending this across. I know a lot of creators have pre-recorded their content and released them as videos, which is something that I've done in the past too. But I thought streaming it would make a nice change. Do like the stream if you agree, and I'm more likely to do this sort of thing again. We got Rabbit, we got Isis Vanderchill. I think this is one of the most interesting new cards in purple, to be honest. I think it's one of the few considerations that red purple has for set 11 cards. Stock red purple. We'll talk about it later. We got Stitch, we got Farzu, another tool in the red yellow toolkit. We got Minnie Mouse, Nani, John Smith, Darkwing Duck, the sapphire one, Elsa, Tamatoa, happy as a clam. We've got Pocahontas super, so double super rare. Let's go. And can we get a spicy? It's rare. What's it going to be? Oh, yo, foil Stitch, Carefree Snowboarder is actually a pretty good pull. That's actually a pretty good pull. Let's hope to get Chernabog also. I just got here, yo, that Chernabog with art by Kendall Hale. Mwah. Kendall Hale, another artist that I met in Miami. He did this for me. Oops, I dropped it. I dropped it. Start again. Start over. There it is. Yeah, Kendall Hale was in Miami as well. awesome, awesome guy, super down to earth, so talented, loves drawing monsters and doesn't get many opportunities to do so. But he did do the Cauldron-born card from set 10. And he did a little altar for me. Ignore my nails. I bite them. It's a bad habit. But look at that, guys. I actually made a little short taking the Cauldron-born on a jolly holiday. Let me know if you saw that. But yeah, Foil Stitch is actually a pretty good pickup there. Did you get the fun cup, bag, and hat with your stuff? No. No. I have mug envy, is the point there. Hey, Vega, ready for a deal? I'll give you the graded Scar in Ghent, but you bring a card you like and sign it for me in Belgium. You're the guy that graded the Scar that I signed for you, the steel one, the Finally King. So cool that you did that. That was a huge surprise. But when I saw your story, I was like, oh, I do remember this guy saying that that's what he was gonna do. You absolutely keep it, brother, or give it away if you don't want to keep it. I don't know how I feel about owning a graded card that I've signed. I don't know if that's. I don't know. Kendall's such a nice guy. I met him at Gen Con. Yeah, Kendall's an absolute boss, man. Absolute boss. Yeah, UK was missing from the press release, and no mention of any future release dates or other countries for them. So I'm not hopeful we will see them. I'm definitely going to have to put some feelers out and see if I can get some information there, because I'm not going to lie, I haven't really looked into it that deeply. I missed any memos saying that we weren't getting them. It wouldn't be the first time that we get something after America. Like the Costco Villain bundle packs. We are getting them. It's just going to be later than America. But yeah, concerning the collector's guides, I would be shocked if we don't get them, even if it's just after America, right? This Eeyore in the way. There's a beautiful Enchanted of this card. And shout out to the artist, who I don't know the name off the top of my head, and it's really beautiful and pretty. But I'm just going to say, this one by Matthew Robert Davies, who worked on the first Enchanted Elsa from Chapter 1, the first promo, the Gaston Arrogant Bully, and has done a ton of cards. I did the Ratigan, the Sapphire Ratigan, the 8-cost one. And he worked on this Eeyore, and this is probably my favourite of the two. I think this has, again, love the Enchanted, beautiful, but this one it has so much character to it. So yeah, just a big fan of this one. It was worth a try. Maybe I'll get another one then. Yeah, I'll sign anything you want, mate. I just don't know if I need to own something graded that I signed. It appears I've entered a Lorcana rave. Yo, we raving? I haven't listened to the music for a bit. Yeah, we raving. Does the music need to come down, guys? Oh, what's that last card? I just saw a little something. It's an epic. It's the Mickey Mouse epic. Yo, I'll take it. This is super cute. Whenever this character quests, put the top card of your deck face down under him, and when he's banished in a challenge, put all cards that were under him into another chosen character or under a character or location. So if you're building a full-on boost deck, then this is maybe a little bit of support for it. I do think there's maybe a competitive boost deck out there, but there's probably also... It probably only uses, 12 of the boost, 3-4 of specific boost cards, and that's enough. But there's probably other funner versions that use more of that support and stuff like that. That's low-key good. First time finding your channel, and the constant shouting out of artists is seriously awesome. Yeah, I certainly try. Again, I don't know them as well as Liam. I want to make that clear. Liam, the Illuminateers is absolutely the artist, the main artist go-to man when it comes to his knowledge of them and who worked on what card and interesting backstories and little tidbits and stuff. Everyone in chat that has any knowledge of Lorcana will know Liam is the man when it comes to artist appreciation. But I certainly try my best, always have, to shout them out. And I must admit, Miami TCGcon in particular was kind of, I don't want to say eye-opening, because it didn't there was nothing I experienced that was a surprise. But again, I got to hang around with the artists, the guys that signed this, Matt and Kendall Hale and more. I got to hang out with them more outside of work. When you don't necessarily have your PR face up and you can chill a little bit, and I kind of just got a good chance to get to know them more on a personal level, which obviously when you spend more time getting to know someone, you're always going to grow an affection for them. But yeah, my appreciation for artists has only gone up. Let's put it that way. We got Negaduck. Yo, I think there's a version of Red Purple that might have played this as a shift line, but we needed the 1-drop. I know there's a 2-drop who's a 4-2. Because, like, if we're going to play Grab Your Bow in red-purple, I think we need to be shifting into a 5-cost on turn 3. And this is a character that can do that. And the Negaduck being a 2-cost, like, it's well statted as a 4-2, but we really needed a 1-drop. But it is kind of an interesting card just because, again, it opens up singing 5-cost songs. And we've got Akud et Umuti. This is going to be very good. I think this is going to be a meta staple. And our final card is going to be a foil blue smoke. Let's go. No legendaries just yet. I think most of the regular versions look better than the Enchanted this set. I love that they do differently themed Enchanteds in some sets. This set is just a miss for me in that style. That's fair. For me personally, like, the Enchanted quality just goes up and up every set without fail. But yeah, total respect. Like, not every style is going to be for everybody. I am a big fan of the Enchanted. Again, every set, I think it's the best set of Enchanteds we've had, and this set is no different. But just that one Eeyore card in particular, and like, again, that's not a shot at the Enchanted art. It is just a very large compliment to Matthew Robert Davies and that Eeyore that I just think that one is very, very charming. Your mic is low on YouTube. Let me move it a little bit closer. Let me move it a little bit closer. Let me know if I'm too quiet, and I can certainly turn myself up or turn the music down, etc. Going on to the next pack, we've got Thomas, 0-4. Every reason to believe it will see play. Little John sees play. 0-4s tend to be okay, so there's an amber one. Come out and play. I'm loving these cards that we're getting that are like Mickey and Friends. So in Whispers, we got Spooky Sight and Sudden Scare. Just Mickey and the gang investigating whatever the narrative thread of that set is. And I'm enjoying seeing more of them, so that's a win for me. Minnie Mouse, big 2-2. Beasts, Castle, Piglets, Darkwing Duck, put him down here. We've got Plate Clean, Education or Elimination, Splatter Phoenix, Lilo, which looks like it's going to be pretty good. We got a legendary. We got our first legendary, guys. Let's do it. This one is by Aubrey Archer, a artist name that I recognize. If you do, put that card at the bottom of your deck. How well do I know the set already? If you do, put that card at the bottom of your deck. No, I'm going to need a little bit more. Gain lore equals the lore of a character card in your discard. Oh, is it the Ana? Hey, there you go. Legendary Ana. Let's get it. And our foil is going to be a foil Let It Go. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie, and I think most people, if you're playing Let It Go in a deck list, you will play the probably the originals, the like the DLC promo ones, if you even the non-foil. But this is pretty cool. Let me know, which version of Let It Go would you play? Of course, there is the top 128 one from season 1. So I don't know. You let me know which Let It Go would you play in a competitive event? Where's that iconic hiding? I have no idea. I do not own an iconic, by the way. I have never owned an iconic. Very on theme. I like to think so. We got 112 people in the chat. Let's go. Welcome on in. Thanks for coming on by, guys. We are nearly halfway through a box of Winterspell, and then we're going to do a bit of a tier list for some of the more interesting cards from Winterspell. We probably won't rank every single card in the set, but we'll get through all the relevant ones, and we'll have a chat. We've got Tiana, we've got Swordplay, we've got Mr. Todd, Taurus Bulba, yo, poor Pete, the Pirate Pete, who's a 5/2, 3-cost. He deserved better, man. We got Kanga, we got Darkwing Duck, Rafiki's Bakura Staff. I love items that are just insert name of character, insert name of item. Absolutely love it for some reason. We got another Alice. Got the foil of her earlier. I put Taurus in the wrong pile. We got Launchpad, Eliza, Mazer. Oh, we got another legendary, guys. This one is by Oggy Christensen. You may ready him. Think I'm going to need a little bit more. This character is chosen for an action or an item's ability. You may ready him. Oh, God, what is it? When this character is chosen for an action or an item's ability. Oh, I'm going to be so annoyed. Impressive leaps. Twice during your turn, whenever this character is chosen for an action or item's ability, you may ready him. Nope. Evasive quest. Oh, is it Todd? It's Todd! Oh! Okay, I'm glad I got there before I revealed the picture. But, you know me, I pride myself on knowing a card as soon as I possibly can. We got Big Todd, and our foil is going to be Christopher Robin, which is another card that might actually see play. So, happy to get a foil of that. And we certainly sleeve in our legendaries, yo, Big Todd. I am still to do the So most people, I assume, or at least if you're a Disney fan in chat, when a new IP is coming to Lorcana, you rewatch that Disney film. Am I right? Like, did people rewatch Pocahontas, Fox and the Hound, etc. before this set? And when Whispers in the Well was coming out, did people rewatch Gargoyles? Like, let me know who in chat is on my level here. Like, that's a regular thing that you're gonna do. If a new IP is coming in a set, right? We need to watch that film. We need to refresh and get in the mood, get in the spirit, right? Because I have always done that every single time, and I think a lot of Lorcana people do. I am still to do Fox and the Hound because I can't, guys. It's too much. That final scene, bruh, I lose all my villain aura, every single bit of it. I wonder recently if we can correlate Disney Plus numbers with new Lorcana sets. Only if I've never seen it. Watch Gargoyles because of Lorcana. Fair. Yeah, I always rewatch when an IP comes to the game. I haven't been emotionally prepared to do that with Fox and the Hound, though. Right? I do a bit, especially if it's something I haven't watched in some time. Brings back all the feels. With you there, not emotionally ready. Even the beginning gets me. Yeah, Fox, it's such a good film, though, guys. Like, don't doubt. But man, I'm not ready for that emotional roller coaster. I did Monsters Inc. and Coco. Coco makes me cry as well, to be fair, right at the end, but for some reason I excuse that because Coco is like one of the best Pixar films ever made. Don't at me, I think it's really, really good. So I did that, and me and Mum watched Monsters Inc. because that is Mama Villain's favourite Disney film. Her favourite Disney character is, for villain, Yzma, and for hero, or technically good guy, is Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh and Yzma, those are her two. But for a film, it's Monsters Inc. If she ever gets to meet Sully at Disneyland, she will lose her mind. We've got Distract, which I keep getting. The Terror That Flaps in the Night. Angel, my angel, please be mine. My darling dear, love you for all time. I'm just a fool in love with you. Yes, I also rewatch Oliver and Company every set to throw that out there. Same, I am campaigning for Oliver and Company at every thread. I've made this point clear. When people say to me, what's the number one IP that you want to come to Lorcana? It will forever be The Hunchback of Notre Dame, but I am pretty sure that it's just never going to happen. So what is the IP that I want to come to the game that I actually think is realistic that could come to the game? It's like Nightmare Before Christmas is up there. It's close. But Oliver and Company, every day of the week, mate. I absolutely adore that film. Why should I worry? Why should I care? Yeah, I may not have a dime, but I got street savoir, man. Ooh. Thanks for noticing me. Sorry about that. Oh, mate. Should I go get Mum? Like I just said, Winnie the Pooh is the other franchise that she loves more than anything else. Oh, my days. That is my back. You need to put that back in the package and send it my way. Oh my goodness, my chase this set for sure. Congrats. Woo. Now you have the artist's name. There you go. Exactly. Oh my god. Do you guys want a Mama Villain reveal? Shall I go get Mama Villain to show her this Eeyore? Because I think she would lose her mind. Do you guys want a Mama Villain reveal? Or don't worry. I don't know. You tell me. Alright. I'll see if she's up for it. I'll see if she's up for it. There's a camera. But they wanna see. Well, it's not that, it's more they want to see your reaction to something. Alright. Sit down there. Oh. Okay, chat, be nice. I've never done this before. This is Mama Villain. me get this. Put it there. Yes, she loves Zelda. You know those special cards that the Enchanteds, the ones I get excited about sometimes?
Yeah.
Look at this one.
Oh, Eeyore. Oh, isn't he lovely?
Ain't he lovely?
Oh, I want one.
Okay, you can have it.
Oh.
His name is Eeyore in the way.
Eeyore what?
In the way.
In the way?
He's in the way.
Never. Never in the way. Get in my way anytime you like.
Alright, say goodbye to the stream, Mum.
Bye.
She's watching Porro on Netflix in the other room. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, wow. I don't know why I suddenly was like, yo, I should show Mum on stream. I've shown like pictures. Oh, that's amazing. That's literally awesome. Never in the way. She is lovely. She's very, very lovely. Yo, this is sick. This is definitely one of the best Enchanted as well. I know I was literally just saying, yo, I think the non-enchanted art is super, super good, but this is adorable, man. Like, look at that. Buzzing, mate. Always respect your parents. Absolutely. You damn right. You damn right. I'd be a puddle of goo on the floor if I didn't. A puddle of goo. You've got 100. I don't think Mum realised like how many people were seeing her there. I was almost taking her back to the chair. She was like, "Who was I talking to?" I was like, "I'll tell you later." Right, we got Pocahontas. Where's our one drop, man? Like, we need the one drop. Like, I think the Floodborn Pocahontas is actually super, super, super busted if we have a one drop. Just a goon, just a 2/2. I'm glad you guys enjoyed. Thanks for being supportive there, because as I was going to get her, I was a bit like, oh, I don't know if I should have suggested this. But yeah, thanks for being nice. Force of a great type will be a man with all the force of a raging fire, mysterious as the dark side of the moon. My voice is back. I lost it after Richmond into Miami back-to-back trips, and I was like, yo, I have no voice at all. But it's back, baby. We got Judy Hopps. The cold never bothered me anyway. Genie. We'll talk about this card later, because I have a take. And foil Lilo. Let's go. Let's go. How many packs have I got left? Let me count them down. Yeah, she loves Zelda, mate. I told this story ages ago. She was playing Breath of the Wild for ages, on her own completely. In the past, I have like when she's played games, sometimes she's been like, I can't kill this boss. Could you do it for me just so I can carry on with the game? And I've done that. But Breath of the Wild, she was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 packs left. But Breath of the Wild, she was super insistent that she was gonna do it all on her own. Bear in mind, my mum has like really bad arthritis. Like anytime she's got to use her hands too much, like she can only, especially on a handheld device, right? And I have had her hooked up with the television on the Switch, but she has her own handheld one that she likes to play in bed. But she can only play for so long. Anyway, she played Breath of the Wild completely on her own. Got all the way to Ganon, couldn't beat him, and she was like, "There's no point." She was like, "Is this the final fight?" I was like, "Yeah, it's the end of the game." She was like, "Well, what's the point of you doing it for me?" I was like, "Yes, Queen, go for it." Anyway, she couldn't beat Ganon. Tried and tried and tried, couldn't do it. Got disheartened, put it down, didn't touch it for I think 9 months. And then around the time I was quite early Lorcana Villain, I think the first 6 months of the game coming out / the channel coming out, she picked it up again, and she finally did it all on her own, and she was so proud, and I was super proud of her. And she has since moved on to Tears of the Kingdom, which is moving at a very, very slow pace. But she is going to do it on her own by Love or Thunder. So Genie's pretty good in my opinion. I agree, but I still have a take, which we'll get to. Oh, I have so many folks who love Disney and all of them want that Eeyore from this set. I need like a dozen to fill all the requests. You're gonna be busy, Denzel Slinger. You're gonna be a busy person. We got Miko, we got Slushy. Keep the Ancient Ways. Pete, this is a very good card. Make no mistake. Let's get dangerous. I can't really do a good. Let's get dangerous. Nah, I'm not built for duck voices. Garrick is very good at Donald Duck and I assume other duck voices. And our foil is going to be Darkwing's Gas Device. We got a lot of Darkwing love this set. I'm sure the Darkwing Duck in Disney Lorcana Twitter account will be thrilled. I guess you're getting that Mushu epic was the reveal of the last epic for the set. Blue Pete is underrated. I don't think he's underrated at all. Like every good player I know is playing Pete. I am the terror that flaps in the night. I bet you are, Triple J. Welcome on in, Triple J. How you doing, buddy? We've got 121 people up in here. You love to see it. Thanks for your support. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for showing the love to Mama Villain. Do please hit the like button for me on the stream. It makes my little villainous heart soar. And it tells YouTube that this channel ain't the worst thing to ever exist in the world. So you know what to do. Smash that like button. We've got Li Shang, Grandmother Willow, Mushu, Jiminy Cricket, Ling, Goofy, and a foil Winterspell. You love to see it. You'll love to see it. This is a super pretty card. I am the chill that runs down your spine. I'm so happy for Darkwing Duck in Lorcana. I am Darkwing Duck. I'm gonna admit something right here, guys. I remember seeing a couple of episodes of whether it was called, I don't know if it was actually called Darkwing Duck, but the series he's in. I saw some of those when I was a kid, but I've definitely not seen every episode, and I might be due for a complete watch of the DuckTales franchise. Obviously, I know it's DuckTales, but I don't know if Darkwing Duck actually had like a spin-off series just named after him. Y'all tell me. But there is. Y'all know my Disney knowledge is pretty good, pretty epic, if I might say so myself. But there are spaces in my knowledge, and Darkwing Duck and Friends are definitely part of that. Still criminal that we didn't get Megavolt. If I had context, I might agree with you. We've got Chief Pahoughton. We've got Copper, I think is pretty good. Marshmallow, Let It Go, and a foil David. Jim Deere, rip. Jim Deere, you will be missed with your 0-4 and identical classifications. But if we ever get a Floodborn Jim Deere, then there you go. Then there you go. People always show two cards and they're like, these are the same card. I'm like, do they have the same name? No. Then they can't be shifted onto you by the same characters. So you are wrong, sir! You are wrong. Darkwing Duck theme goes crazy if you didn't know it. I don't know it. I know the DuckTales theme. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales. Ooh. Do 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 do. Don't know the words, but I know it's a banger. I know it's a banger. Jumba Juaka. We've got a legendary Donald Duck, which we'll talk about in more detail later. And our foil is going to be Copper. Again, I'm just not emotionally ready to watch Fox and the Hound, guys. Yeah, this Donald Duck is pretty interesting. Any boost deck, whether competitive or fun, is likely to play him. And there could be a competitive deck out there that likes this Donald Duck. We need more Universal Shift. I agree. I would like more Universal Shift. I would actually like a new Morph. I like that Donnie too. I would like a new Morph. That's what I would like. That's a card that I would have loved to have seen get a reprint, and I was hoping and assuming it was because they're just gonna give us the same ability on another character. I mean, it works really well for Morph, but whatever, as long as we get the ability. But yeah, I'd like to see a Morph reprint, or something that does the same thing. We've got Ana, Liquidator, Darkwing Tower, so many Darkwing Duck cards. Widow Tweed, Nani's Payback, and the foil is going to be Tigger. The wonderful thing about Tiggers is Tiggers is wonderful things. The tops are made out of rubber. The bottoms are made out of springs. The bouncy, trouncy, bouncy, bouncy, fun, 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 fun. The wonderful thing about Tiggers is that I'm the only one. Play it. I'd love to see your reaction to one of the best themes of all time. Unfortunately, if I play it, this stream will get copyright struck. So I am. To be fair, I could just listen to it in my headphones and not play it for you guys. But I feel like that'd be boring. But let me know if that's something you all want me to do before the end of the stream. We've got Agnar, Cena, McCorn? Is that how you say it? If that becomes meta, I'm going to have to find out. Mushu, Christopher Robin, Gantu, Darkwing's chair sets, Scrooge McDuck. Pretty interesting card for Ruby. And our foil is going to be a foil grab your bow. Let's go. Grab your sword, grab your bow. We're not safe until he's dead. He'll come stalking us at night, set to sacrifice our children to his monstrous appetite. He'll wreak havoc on our village if we let him wander free. So it's time to take some action, boys. It's time to follow me. Love that song, man. What a banger. Through the mist, through the woods, through the darkness and the shadow, it's a nightmare, but it's one exciting ride. Say a prayer, then we're there at the drawbridge of a castle, but there's something truly terrible inside. It's a beast, he's got fangs, razor-sharp ones, massive paws, killer claws for the weak. See, hear him foams. Da-da-da, hear him foam, but we're not coming home till he's dead. I ruined it. I ruined it all. I'm sorry, guys. I need 4 of that Super Rare Scrooge. It's great card draw for Ruby Steel. Yeah, I think it's a kind of interesting card. I don't think it sees red-purple play, but maybe red steel. This one is also kind of interesting, but again, it's just another uninkable. We have enough. Gonna get a meta-relevant inkable Ruby card. Is that too much to ask? We got Rapunzel. We got a Super Rare Belle, another interesting card, and our foil. It's a legendary foil. Opponents can't choose them except a challenge. Characters gain ward until the start of your next turn. Under each of your characters, if you do, those characters gain ward until the start of your next turn. Nope, I'm still not familiar enough with the set, guys. Spreading Joy. When you play this character, you may put a card from the top of your deck face down under each of your other characters. If you do, those characters gain ward until the start of the next turn. What is it, guys? I don't know yet. I need more time to familiarise myself with the set. What is it? What is it? I'm looking. Just stop playing all the other uninkables so you can play the new uninkables. Get ahead of the next rotation. Big brain. Is it Scrooge? Oh, it does make sense. Scrooge McDuck. You were right. Y'all smashed it. Blue Scrooge. You smashed it. I did not. I have work to do to learn the set. Learn the cards. But I promise you that by the end of it, I will know them all at the back of my hand, mate. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you doubt me. And I will give you 10 sets of references and receipts. Pocahontas, Lumpy, Dinky, Hercules. Honey, I think you mean Honcules. Cena, Prince Naveen. Why did I want to sing Prince Ali there? That's another banger. Big Mama, Winterspell. Lost some steel cards. Did I put purple in there? No, I didn't. Rue, you'll love to see it. Mulan. I think we all know that this card is bloody terrifying. We got another legendary. Is this our final card? Is this foil? No, it's not. Okay. We got another legendary. Chosen character. Choose and discard a card to deal 2 damage to chosen character. Good aim. Once during your turn, you may choose and discard a card to deal 2 damage to chosen character. Is this a Stitch? Our Angel. There you go. We've got Legendary Angel, and our foil is going to be Dinky. It's Dinky, and the brain. That's how I feel when I stand next to Frank Carsten. Whenever I stand next to Frank... Don't clip this. Don't send in this. He must never know. But whenever I stand by Frank Carsten, Pinky and the Brain starts playing in my head. You can assume who correlates to who there. Angel, Narf. Narf? Triple J, are you okay? Are you chilling? That's how everyone feels when they stand next to Frank. Oh, good, thank God. It's not just me. It's not just me. Okay, we have 2 packs left to go, my villains. But we did already get this banging Enchanted Eeyore, which I am super chuffed with, man. I'm okay. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear it. 2 packs left to go. Pinky says Narf. Oh, sorry, brother. I had a moment there. Several of them. We've got Thomas. Excuse me. Morgana Macorba. Morgana Macorba? I'm guessing Macorba. Yow, King of the Rock. Beast's Castle, Scrooge McDuck, Infra Pink Ultra Scan Specs. Can't wait for this to be meta relevant and have to say that on stream. Enchanted 5 legendaries, good box, good display. Yeah, rate my box, guys, by the time we're done. Rate my box. Snow Forts. This is not a location. The Frozen Vine. This is a location and has narrative significance. Li Shang. Copper. He's a flood-born boy. Whenever this character quests, your characters with evasive get +1 lore this turn. We've got a legendary Elsa. Let's friggin' go. Mate, is that 5 legendaries? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 legendaries. This is a 6 legendary box, bro. Let's go. And the foil, Distract. Well, you can't have everything. You can't have everything. Let's go. Legendary Elsa. 6 legends. Snowfort is really annoying to play against. I agree. I agree. I have been playing against it on Voldemort, as I'm sure some of you are. Bang in. That's an amazing box. So we've got 1 pack left to go, but I don't imagine there's anything too spicy in this one, because we've had a lot of spice. Sarabi. Nala. Romping in the Snow. You're what, young lady? Squeaks. Cozy Caterpillar. Get out of bed. Iduna. Alarmed Queen. What are you so shocked for? Winnie the Pooh. Hungry Bear. My son has never done anything wrong in his entire life. Infra Pink Ultra Scan Specs. Ain't nobody got time for that. Chief Pahoughton. Respect, sir. Splatter Phoenix. I have questions. Slushy. I have more questions. Duke Weaselton. What are you wearing? Stegma. This is you. This is all of you when you wake up in the morning. You gonna deny it? Is that fair? Is it fair? This is you, specifically you, when you wake up in the morning. Is this fair? Fair or harsh? You tell me. And our foil is Donald Duck along for the ride. And he is absolutely smashed Lilo's snowman. Don't appreciate the call out there. Fair. So true. Stank butt. Sounds about right. See? Y'all know. It's you. This is you. This is what you look like. Accurate. There you go. Alright, so. A bunch of piles. Don't say that to your doctor or he'll get concerned. We'll get rid of these piles. Get them over here. Be gone, piles. Be gone. We've got puzzle pieces. We're not going to worry about them right now. Y'all know I love some lore and I love some puzzles, but I'm not going to get too distracted. We have things to do. Put these cases away. Dragon Shield. Use code VILLAIN5 on Dragon Shield for 5% off. You bunch of hooligans. Alright. So. Foil-wise, Donald, Distract, Dinky, Grab Your Bow, Tigger, Copper, David, Winterspell, Gas Device, Lilo, Chair Set, Christopher Robin, Let It Go, Blue Smoke, Stitch, Iduna, Stitch, John Smith, Alice, Nani's Payback. I think we're probably mostly agreed these are filler. I think we're mostly agreed. I don't see any of this being too relevant in format. Maybe this if there's a 3-cost Stitch, but I would say that's mostly bulk. I think Grab Your Bow has a chance, so that's a nice foil to have. I think David has a chance. Jim Deere saw play, so no reason why he won't. So that's a nice foil. This Stitch I think is super good. So that's a great foil to get. Let It Go is obviously great, very playable. Again, I would probably play the DLC non-foil promo version, but if you like this newer art, then go off King. Christopher Robin, I think, might see play in some purple decks. This Lilo, maybe. Like, if the Floodborn Lilo ends up being good enough, then I think you kind of have to play this one. So I think these are respectable foils to have, personally. Legendaries. We got Elsa, Angel, Foil Scrooge, Donald Duck, Todd, and Ana. Let me actually just remind myself what all the legendaries are for this set. That would be of use. Filter, rarity, legend. So yeah, Pocahontas, Ahana means family, Tinkerbell, Anna, Todd, Donald Duck, Wreck-It Ralph, Elsa, Scrooge, Moana, Angel, and Darkwing Duck. So yeah, I think we did all right for legendaries. I think Ohana means family and Todd are probably the most playable, closely followed by Moana. Moana may even be more playable than one of the other. Those are definitely the three that I think are the most meta relevant. This Elsa, obviously, if locations do become a thing and a good identity of red purple, then she's going to be a big part of it. So yeah, as far as a bunch of legendaries go, I think this was a pretty alright box. To be fair, we did not get a Raging Storm, Snake Chips. Can confirm the Stitch is amazing. We did not get a Raging Storm. Love your channel and your positive attitude. Appreciate what you do for the community. I appreciate you for saying so, my friend. Thanks to everyone that's come out. 111 viewers in chat is actually pretty wild for my channel. It's more than I would generally average. I don't know if that says more about, like, I haven't been making content as much recently, or just there's a lot of people very hyped for this set. But nonetheless, I very much appreciate you all being here. 2 epics. It's probably the least I've ever got in a box. I can't remember ever getting less than 3, but this was I'm not going to moan, this was a banging box. Mickey Mouse and Mushu, probably not the most playable ones. And then the Enchanted Eeyore. So send them right now, guys. Out of 10, rate my box. We're also excited for Christmas in February. We've got Connor in chat, who is actually Fidget. Gentleman, very responsible for a lot of the technical wizardry on the channel. Every set championship for the content creators, he comes with me, and 99% his equipment and his know-how and his labor. So very grateful for Fidge. So let's see those marks out of 10. Rate my box. Florian Rich with a 9. Alistair Sale with a 9. Planet Sadala, 10 out of 10. Jay with an 8. Michelle with a 9 out of 10. The Mad Cat with a 9. Lorcana Empress with a 10. 9 out of 10 from Triple J. 9 out of 10 from Psychedelic Fruitcake. Misses out on a 10 because of no Raging Storm. A 10 from Jeffrey, otherwise known as Geo. The Lucky Loafer Enchanted is an auto 10 in my opinion. Snake Chips 11, better than any box I've opened. Steven rates it an 8. Double 4 legendary cards at 5+ legendaries would be a 9. Double Enchanted would be a 10. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good ranking system. 10 out of 10 would be totally happy with that box from Dognor Muzulk. Probably saying that wrong, apologies. Eric gives it a 9. Bahar got to leave the room for an Iconic, so 9 out of 10. That's totally valid. Got to be a 9 from Denzel Slinger. Damn, Iconics raises that bar so high. G Boney Lorcana, 9 out of 10 would be a 10 with a Raging Storm. That seems to be the sentiments of a couple of people. So overall, chat, we are pretty happy. We are pretty happy, and I'm very happy with this Eeyore, which now apparently belongs to Mama Villain. And once again, thank you all for being very kind during that segment. Right, I'm going to clear this up a second. Is the music still playing? Yeah. I'm going to pack this up a second. And then we're going to get up the tier list maker, and we're going to start discussing the set from a competitive standpoint. Let me know where you would like me to start. Should we start with a specific ink? And if so, which ink should that be? Should we just sort of tip-tot around and people can shout out the names of cards and we'll jump from colour to colour just based on what we think the most interesting cards are going to be? Let me know in chat how you want to do this. I will switch to the tier list maker screen. There we go. I'm going to put this on here as well. In the memento, por favor. Yeah, let's get Dreamborn up as well so we can actually read cards. Because this tier list maker doesn't enhance the cards. So if I don't already know what the card does, which is going to be the case for a lot of them, then we're going to have to double check. These are the tiers. So yeah, let me know where you want to start. Do we start with an ink or do we start with like a card and then you guys can call out cards as you see fit and we'll go from there. I'm going to quickly run to the loo, get a new drink, and we'll crack on. Let's do it. Let's do it. Boom, baby! Okay. Which card have you decided that we're going to start with? And why is it Raging Storm? Why is it Raging Storm? You can't fool me. I know exactly what you've done. If I am wrong, I will say I'm wrong. Put this stuff away. These cards nice and safe. I want them safe. Safe and accounted for. And we're going to get rid of this playmat. This beautiful playmat of mine that I wish to keep for special occasions. Swap for something else. Alrighty. Okay. Rate Pudge would also go by rarity. I have to remember to sign into the right account when I get into YouTube. Nobody asked for it. Guess we surprised. And what did you surprise me with? Starting with the underdog card seat. Is that what you guys want? You want to start with the underdog cards? Is that what you want? But let me know what you want, guys. 9 out of 10. I've already read that. Go by rarity. Starting with the underdog. Go by rarity. Rate Pudge. How did you know? Alright, we've got 97 people up in chat. Do you want me to start with the underdogs? Because we can do that, absolutely. We can absolutely do that. Give me a sec. Remove this. Okay. Yeah, I want to hear the music a bit. Actually, no, I don't. It's distracting. Okay. Underdog sounds good. Angel and Liquidator are clearly the best ones. Hot take, Raging Storm will see 0 relevant play after 4 weeks of set 11. We'll get there. Excuse me. Alright, let's start with the underdogs. Let's start with the underdogs then. Underdog. Okay, so for a start, we're going to focus primarily on core constructed. I may occasionally make a reference to, hey, in Infinity this seems a lot better or a lot worse, but it's not going to be the focus here. We are talking primarily about competitive viability in core constructed. So we will indeed start off with Angel, who I think by far and away is the best one. 2 cost inkable, 2/2 quest for 1. The Siren Singer. If it's your first turn, then you pay 1 less to play her, and she's a 2 cost and has Singer 3. Okay, so to really evaluate this card, we need to look at the songs that we still have or are getting in Winterspell that can be sung by said Angel. So we go to songs and we go to 3, 2, 1. Highlight all of those. Oh, to be fair, I think I've still got it selected to Winterspell. Let's change it to Legality Core Constructed. Okay. So some of these are going to be new. So basically, like, how efficient is it going to be to if we're on the draw to then on turn 2 sing a song versus on the play? Meaning that the soonest we put it down is turn 2. Obviously, you're going to make comparisons to, well, if you're on the play, then it's strictly worse than something like a Troubadour or a Ursula, but not the point. The point is that we can get this incredible high roll from being on the draw. I think under the underdog mechanic is a net win for Lorcana. It's certainly going to help a little bit with the play-draw disparity. So I think this is absolutely a step in the right direction, but where's the ceiling here? What can we sing on our turn 2 on the draw to really get that far ahead? Obviously, Strength or Raging Fire, we don't want to be singing that on turn 2 because we want time to get our characters out, but maybe you're just establishing the guy that's going to eventually sing Strength. Like in an Amber Steel deck, you put this Angel down on the draw on turn 1, and then you just don't turn anything sideways until you've built up that pool of characters and you're hitting good numbers with Strength. And now just your 1 cost is able to sing it. So that in itself can be okay if you're taking a slower game plan where you're just curving out. But what can we play straight away which is immediately going to have amazing impact? That is the question. Something like Mother Knows Best. Force of Grey Typhoon, I don't think it's going to be that good. We'll get to that, but I don't think that's worth playing. I think really we should probably just assume that the main reason we want to be playing Angel and the song that we want to be singing with it on turn 2 is indeed the new Accoud et Emuti, which is a 3 cost uninkable. You pay 2 ink less for the next character you play this turn, draw a card. So theoretically, if we are on the draw and we play Angel on our turn 1, then on turn 2, if we sing this, then we can play a 4-drop. Because we ink up to 2, and this lets us play 2 ink for the next character. So basically means a turn 2 4-drop. And that in itself is huge. And then you have to evaluate all the 4-drops and like see which are going to be the most impactful. But I think we can all agree that that is an incredible ramp. It is going to make Amber Steel do some pretty disgusting things. It's going to open up some really incredible plays for Amber Ruby as well, like being able to play a turn 4 Hercules even, and there's the new, is it Slushy? Is that his name? The 5/5 evasive, the uninkable one. There's just some such high impact 4-drops that we can play. That being said, if we end up being on the play and we play Angel on turn 2, that still means that we get a turn 3 5-drop. So like a Headless Horseman on turn 3, if you're Amber Ruby, sounds really, really good. And again, we're not going to go and look at every single 4 and 5 cost character now to map out all the lines, but that is enough to say this is going to be impactful. So I think these two are going, like, Akud et Emuti. Am I saying that right? I need to learn to say that right, because this is absolutely going to see play. But yeah, I think this is the best song that you sing alongside Angel. What else would be huge? Rewrite History needs a character from your discard. Be our guest, I guess, is okay. World's Greatest, they're probably not going to have a 5-strength character out yet, and you probably then need to play a support character to buff them there, so it doesn't seem like a super fast play. You can't play into the Unknown because that's a dual link, so you can't play into the Unknown and Amber cards. In an aggro deck, would you just like set up an early singer to sing Do You Want to Build a Snowman? Maybe. I leave questions like that to people like Spessy that like those sort of decks, but maybe. Malicious, Mean and Scary, if you're yellow-green, hey, if they just spammed a bunch of characters over the first couple of turns with just bomb willpower, then maybe, but again, not the most natural synergy that I'm seeing. So there are other songs that we have that seem like okay with Angel, but nothing that I think is backbreaking. It may be kind of reasonable just as your strength singer while you then curve out and set up your board. But I think the most high impact thing that Angel unlocks is Akud et Emuti to just ramp into these higher cost characters. And I think that in itself is going to be very, 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 very good. Is it meta defining or is it a staple? Can you play Akud et Emuti without the Angel in core constructed? Maybe. Maybe your singers are Ursulas and Troubadours. And again, you just play it on, you sing it on turn 3 and then you play a 5-drop. That also seems okay. I do think this Akud et Emuti is going to be very, very good. I don't know if it goes into something like Dogs, but I think there's Amber Steel and Amber Ruby decks that I think are going to be very good as a result of those cards. So I would be inclined, to be honest, to... Is this Akud et Emuti? Am I getting the art right? Yeah. Akud et Emuti... It's one of these. It's one of the best cards in the set for sure. Meta defining, like, does it make the deck that it's in like a top 3, like part of the rock paper scissors meta, if that's what it ends up being? Do we build decks especially to work around this? I don't know. I feel like it's either at the bottom of S tier or the top of A. I'm going to put it at the top of A to start off with, but let me know your thoughts. And obviously we started with Angel, but then we started talking about this card, so it just made sense to talk about it there and then. Angel is here. I think there's a good argument that this is actually... Is this the meta-defining one? Because there will be other songs that come out in the future that go with this Angel, so you don't even have to, like... Yeah, I think this is the more meta-defining one, even if it isn't straight away. Like, Winterspell format, they might be as relevant as each other, but as time goes on and we get more impactful 3-cost songs, then Angel just gets better and better. So yeah, like, I think they're both bottom of S tier, top of A tier. And I'm going to put them like that. I think when they put in Winterspell format, I think they're as good as each other, but I think as time goes on, Angel's ceiling goes up and up and up. So I'm going to put them as staples, but if someone was to come along and say those should absolutely be in S tier, then you wouldn't hear a lot of arguments from me, to be honest. So that's where I'll start off there. Let's go back to the underdog. Bit of a take I'm going to make here. Love this Liquidator. I made a tweet which was Chuckles in Maximilian Pegasus, because it just immediately reminded me of a Toon card. And I loved the Toon cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! So love the art. It's a villain as well. Love to see it. I think in Ruby Sapphire, this is a staple. Absolutely. Where they like have such an awful early game and they just want to be able to get out beat sticks and stuff that can like hold the board while they ramp and start doing unfair things. So I think in Ruby Sapphire, this is absolutely a staple. In Ruby Amethyst, I'm not really a fan early days. Now, I do want to I'm actually going to be releasing a video in the next few days, which is going to talk about my early opinions about Red Ruby Amethyst and set 11 and going into some more detail. So these are all early thoughts, and I could absolutely change my mind as time goes on. I think I was mostly on the money for Whispers in the Well, my early thoughts about what I thought the deck would be. I had a couple of misses, but I think I was more right than wrong. But there will be things that I get wrong, but my early take is I'm not convinced this goes into Ruby Amethyst, and the main reason for that is because of Reckless. I think having the stats is great, and having an on-the-draw immediate answer to Daisy is huge, but Ruby Amethyst in its stock form is already pretty good into the aggro decks and the dogs decks. Like, that's really what we want to see. Anything aggro and mid-range is where Ruby Amethyst is kind of thriving. So I don't know if you really need this as an extra tool. Now, if Daisy Duck does end up taking over set 11 meta, whether it's in Amber Steel or Amber Sapphire and or Dogs, then maybe there becomes more of a need to include this Liquidator, just because of the density of Daisy Duck in format. But as it stands, I think we run cards that can already deal with the Daisy, like Tink into Lumiere. Yes, I know that then trades, but I still think sometimes that's good enough. Or if you're on the play, then you get to get a Diablo down before they quest with their Daisy. So you just play maybe you have to play off curve a little bit. But I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Or you go Lumiere into Cat on the play, and you just let them get the 2 or the 4 lore. Like, if you can control the board, then I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. My point is, I don't think this is necessary for Daisies. I think it's helpful, and if there are a lot of Daisies in format in the metagame, then I think there's a chance that we do end up playing like a 2 or 3 of these. But I think we can already deal with the Daisy fairly well. I think we can deal with a lot of aggro tools fairly well. And this can't quest. And that's the biggest issue for me because of the way Ruby Amethyst stock wants to play. It's a curve them out, get that cheeky lore out while you can, like, where there are spaces to quest with like a Palace Guard or a Diablo or whatever, then you do it. But really you're just ramping up the board to get into your Horseman, into your Elsa, into your Demona, clearing up the board and then just winning the game from there. And I just would rather that all of my characters can quest. So the Reckless is kind of putting me off this a little bit. I think in Ruby Sapphire, it's absolutely a staple, 100% of the time. Ruby Steel, I'm not sure. I haven't really looked too much into Ruby Steel to talk about it with authority. But Ruby Sapphire, I think this absolutely is a 2 or 3 of. Ruby Amethyst, I'm not sold, but let's put it this way, if the big 3 end up being like a control deck and 2 aggro decks, like Dogs, maybe Amber Steel becomes huge, maybe like there's an aggressive Amber Sapphire deck, but then again there could be control Amber Sapphire decks because, spoilers, I think Amber Sapphire is where Raging Storm is actually going to find its home. But I don't know, I am not sold on the Liquidator in red-purple, but I could be wrong. If 2 out of the 3 big decks are running Daisies, then it may become necessary as an on-the-draw card. But outside of that, I'd like, even if I just swap, I'd rather swap my Tinkerbells for Rafiki's, and then just curve Rafiki into Lumiere so that I don't trade into the Daisy Duck. So yeah, early days I am not sold on Liquidator. I think he's a lot of fun. I think he's going to be great in Ruby Sapphire, but I'm not convinced he has a place in Ruby Amethyst. But it is absolutely a card that I could be wrong about, and if I am, then one of those things. That being said, I think he's a staple in Ruby Sapphire and at least a consideration in Ruby Amethyst. So, if I can find said Liquidator, he exists somewhere here, I'm sure of it. Where are you gone, you Liquidator? Come on, bro, where are you? I've lost him. There he is. Liquidator, I am going to put a staple because I think it's maybe it should be home, has a home in Ruby Sapphire. Like, you don't play it in all red decks. Maybe has a home is better. It's like the bottom of A, top of B. I think is probably what I want to do with Liquidator. So that's my feelings on him. Christopher Robin. I think green-blue. Sorry. Green-purple. Like the burn deck. The Speci Special. I think the Speci Special loves this card. Green-purple specifically. Outside of that, like in Ruby, like I was talking about Ruby Amethyst recently with SLTC, and someone mentioned this as maybe an underdog that we want to play. And yeah, maybe, but I only really want it against the blue decks. And the thing is, Ruby Amethyst tends to build in a way where it says, I'm going to beat the aggro decks and the mid-range decks as consistently as I can, and I'm probably just taking the L to Blurple and Blue-Green. Like, there's a percent chance that I can take a game if they miss ramp, or if I get the nuts, the Stone Cold Buckies. But largely, I think you build stock Ruby Amethyst with the acceptance of, I'm building this to be aggro and mid-range, and I'm probably losing to blue decks more often than not. And it's only really against the blue decks where I want to see this, because I think it's too easily answered by, like, Amethyst Steel and things like that. And then if you are just on the play, then it's just not great. It's just a 1/3 that quests for 2. Like, it's fine, but the problem is, like, we're already struggling for space as it is. There's so many cool cards that I always want to include, and we just can't find space for them, and I just don't think we're clearing much room to make space for this Christopher Robin. Like, if you want to build Ruby Amethyst in a way where you say, I want to have better matchups into Sapphire, and I'm happy to maybe lose some consistency against Amethyst Steel and the more aggro decks, then sure, you probably play this, but I actually think it's Green-Purple Burn where this will find its home. So I'll be interested to see how Spessy feels about Christopher Robin. That being said, I think it's okay, and I would put it in Has a Home. I think Green-Purple is probably where that card ends up being. The White Rabbit, again, another card that when it first came out, I referenced Spessy. And the Burn deck, the Spessy Special. I think if there's a deck that is going to take advantage of this, it will be this deck, but I think only as kind of like 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th Pegasus, because you always play Pegasus in that deck. But if you just want to have more copies of that, then I could see that, like 4 Pegasus, 1 or 2 White Rabbit. I'm not sure if this sees play anywhere else, to be honest. I love the card. No, I'm talking about this purely from a meta competitive perspective. I'm trying to not get too into the colour and all the pomp and circumstance. Love the White Rabbit. I've got the White Rabbit tattooed on me, literally. But yeah, I think Green-Purple is probably the only deck where I'm really expecting the White Rabbit to potentially make an appearance, and even then, I'm not convinced. Like I said, I'll be interested to see what Spessy has to say about the White Rabbit. Kind of finds him. Where you gone? You're late. You're late to be ranked. Here you go. So, I don't know. I think it's between Has a Home and Not Terrible. To be honest, I think probably the top of Not Terrible, bottom of Has a Home. I'm gonna be strict. I'm gonna be on the stricter side tonight, and we're just going. It's Not Terrible. So that's where I want to go with that. Judy Hops and Splatter Phoenix. Let's start with Judy. 2 cost Inkable 2 quests for 1, Underdog and Resist 1 as a 2/2. In a detective build, maybe just because of the detective tag, I guess. But outside of that fun deck, I'm sure there's maybe 1 or 2 very specific interactions where you'll be happy to have this Judy, but I'm not too sold. It is a shift target, to be fair. If you're playing Blue Steel Detectives, it might be one of your cheaper Judies. How many Judies do we have? I know we have a couple. Are there any Judies that are cheaper than that? No, it is the cheapest Judy. So yeah, if you are playing Sapphire Steel, because you always play this Judy, the Uncovering Clues, that's the best one. And if you want to also play the Floodborn, then this is probably enough shift targets, but I could see you playing a count of this Judy Hops. So it's probably Has a Home, Not Terrible. I'm going to put it in Not Terrible because I think the one deck it goes in is like not necessarily a top tier meta deck. So that's probably what I'm going to do with that. And our last Underdog. Let me know what you want me to do after the Underdogs, guys. Where should we go? To a colour, to a rarity tier? You tell me. Splatter Phoenix, 2 cost Inkable 1/2 quest for 2, Underdog and Ward. I think we need a Floodborn or something to really make this hugely interesting. Ward is obviously a good ability in quest for 2, but nothing too special in my opinion. I don't think it really needs a ton of conversation here, this Splatter Phoenix. It's definitely not among the more interesting of the Underdogs. I'm almost inclined to just put it in D, to be honest. Not good enough. The stats are good, right? Like 2 cost 1/2 quest for 2. Yeah, I wouldn't call it unplayable. I think that's too much, but I think I'm going to put not good enough. What are your thoughts on on how DLC Hong Kong ended with going to time? I wish that didn't have to be the case. I don't like to see the final of a DLC go to turns. I'm on a personal level not a huge fan of that. And that's the thing as far as I want to go, but I didn't want to ignore your question, Enchanted Table, because it is a very reasonable one. And I would say, yeah, I agree that, well, I say I agree, you haven't given your opinion, but with those that think it's a shame that a finals of a DLC should come to turns, then I absolutely agree, and I wish that didn't have to be the case. I know they want to get it all done in one day, and that's the reason for best of one. Another thing that I'm not a huge fan of, but whatever. But yeah, I would have at least liked to have seen the finals be untimed to a degree. I know, like, they can't be completely untimed because they're so strict on when you have to be out of the building. But yeah, I think it's a shame. I'm not sure what can be done about it, but yeah, that would be my answer to that Enchanted Table. Thank you for nearly 100 people still being here, by the way. Do please hit the like button if you've been enjoying the stream. We got an Enchanted Eeyore earlier on. Let's friggin' go. Okay, so that is all of the underdogs. Someone said they wanted me to do songs, so let's just do that. Let's filter to set Winterspell types songs. And let's do the interesting ones. We've already talked about a coup. Mother will protect you. Chosen character can't be challenged until the start of your next turn. I think this is actually pretty good. I think this is pretty good. Do you prefer this to choosing a character that can't challenge? If they've got a wider board than you, absolutely. Yeah, Mother will protect you. I think it's kind of interesting. Again, especially in any deck that just wants to increase its count of songs. Then this is a nice, cheap, inkable one that has a pretty relevant ability that could just win you the game if you're just protecting a big quester. I'm also a big fan of the art. So yeah, Mother will protect you if it is on here. I do think is a good card. Is this just characters? Oh, it's there. I don't know. Yeah, Mother will protect you. I think is pretty good. Probably B or C tier. I'm probably going to put has a home. It doesn't draw a card though, does it? We'll put not terrible. Not terrible. Again, I don't think you're running it unless you have song synergy that you just want to find more songs to synergize with your other stuff. But yeah, it's high C, bottom B, to be honest. I'm trying to be on the stricter side tonight. Do you want to build a snowman? Chosen opponent chooses yes or no. Yes, you gain 3 lore. No, they choose a character of theirs and put that card on the bottom of their deck. If they have any sort of board presence with 3 or 4 characters, then I think this card is just terrible. Again, we've talked about these sort of effects before. Tremaine is bad if they have a wide board. Anytime where they get to choose the character that they get rid of. It's not quite the same as Hades because you pick the character that's either going to go at the bottom of their deck or you're going to draw cards. But anytime you let your opponent choose. That being said, if your opponent is playing a slower deck, something that sort of ramps up and then just books out a big body one at a time, then if there's only one target, then this does get better. I don't know. Again, it's another one of those green-purple burn cards, right? Which I think are already running a lot of uninkables. But they play cards like Show Me More in the Amethyst Chromacon, so they can just draw a lot of cards. Hades is good, but even he is seeing less play. Yeah, again, I was always on only a 2 of Hades because I wasn't convinced. Do you want to build a snowman? I'm not sold on it completely, but again, if it's got a home, it's green-purple, right? That sort of deck that can afford to just play a lot of uninkables because they draw a lot of cards in general. So, do you want to build a snowman? We'll put has a home. I think it's alright, but honestly, you could convince me to just put it it's not terrible. Sometimes I mean, it's never going to win you the game because if you would go to 20, then they would just put one of their characters at the bottom of their deck. Yeah, I think B is probably right. Oh, what did I just quit? I thought I closed the stream for a second then. Oh, I know what I did. I didn't close Streamlabs, I did close the stream. I closed the chat. I'm terrible, guys, I'm terrible. Let's get this back up so I can see the beautiful chat. Again, very grateful to everyone that's come on out this evening. whatever time it might be for you out there. You have to also be in a position where the free lore is relevant. The opponent doesn't just choose that. Yeah, I mean, depends what you mean by relevant, right? Because like if you're at 10 lore and they go, okay, well it's not relevant because you're not winning the game, then you go to 13. But then that jump, maybe now they've got like, maybe they can easily get that final 7 lore. It was the 3 that they were looking for. So you still put them on you put them one step closer to game. But I see your point, right? Like, because if you can still win the game before it's going to matter, then yeah, I don't know. I'm really not sold on this card, to be honest. Would I rather oversell it or undersell it? I'm gonna put not terrible. Like, you could argue has a home. Like, maybe it becomes part of that burn deck, but I'm still not in love with it, to be honest. I think there are other cards that deck can be playing. I'm hoping eventually we get an Elsa or an Anna that specifically references this card. Maybe we can pull it out the deck or something like that. I feel that'd be quite nice. So yeah, I'm not too high on do you want to build a snowman, but if it's going to be anywhere, it's going to be the green-purple deck, right? Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue moon, or asked the grinning wildcat why he grinned? If you clear the board, then play it. They have to choose yes, right? So I think it's good. I'm not sure if they do have to pick yes. I think you can just say no with an empty board and say I don't have a character to fulfill the effect with. I'm not actually sure there. Are there any lore guides in chat? Any lore guides in chat, or anyone that can speak with real authority on if you can pick the... Can you pick no if you don't have a character? I need to know, because that does make a difference, to be fair. Colours of the Wind, love this Enchanted. 4-cost Inkable Song, each player reveals the top card of their deck. Draw a card for each different ink type of cards revealed this way. Sing that with Angel turn 2 against the blue deck. True. It does nothing with that character on board, but you can still pick no, right? That's the point. Like, can you even pick that? Can you say no to do you want to build a snowman if you don't have a character on board? I would have assumed you can. It's just, okay, I pick no, choose a character of yours and put it at the bottom of your deck. I can't do that. Like the same way if I play Tremaine in Infinity and they don't have a character, that second ability just doesn't do anything. You have to choose a character to do the second half of the ability. You have to have a character on board, do you, Setpern? You're convinced of this, are you? It's if they choose, so if they can't choose anything, they can just say no. Yeah, because it's do as much as you can. Like, it's Lorcana means do as much as you can. There's the phrase, if you do. Then they choose a character of theirs and put that card on the bottom of their deck. Yeah, I'm not convinced that... I think you can pick no, even if you don't have a character on board, but I'm not 100% certain. We shall see, but I would have leaned in that direction. Colours of the Wind. Unless you involve Dual Link, then the most you're drawing off of this is 2. If you do have Dual Link, then how many of them are in your deck? How reliably are you hitting a Dual Link card off the top of your deck? And how often is that going to be a different colour to what your opponent tops? Not that often. Also, how many times is this only going to draw you one card because either you or your opponent didn't even hit a character, or maybe your opponent also has purple cards. I'm not a huge fan of this, to be honest. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's very easy to underrate cards like this when you remember Friends on the Other Side. No, we're not talking about Hades looking for a deal. So yeah, I need to find out, do you want to build a snowman, how that works exactly. But I would lean on the side of you can say no even if you don't have a character. You just don't have anything to bounce, you can't resolve it. Judges say you can choose no on Lorcana Facebook. We don't have a lot of rules here on Lorcana Villain. There are not a lot of rules that I enforce here at Lorcana Villain. But if there's one thing for damn sure, we will never ever take the word of anything that came off of Lorcana Facebook with any semblance of credibility. Now, you may be right, Mad Catter, and this may be an instance where that is correct, but I will never accept Lorcana Facebook as a reasonable source of information. What a cesspit to hell that place is. I'm sorry. It's all coming out. Googly says yes, you can choose no without a character on board. Yeah. There's nothing forcing you to choose an effect that can't be resolved. Yeah. I believe Googly. I believe Googly as a source. I just don't believe Lorcana Facebook as a source. Bad gold. But yeah, I if Googly says it, then I believes it. The lore guides, I know, also say you can say no. Googly Joe Clark is the only reliable resource on Facebook. On Lorcana Facebook should have said yeah, no. I'm mostly joking. But yeah. Do you want to build a snowman? I think for that reason he's even worse. If they can just say no, if they don't have a character on board, it does nothing. So yeah. Do you want to build a snowman? I'm gonna say not terrible, but even that might be a push, and maybe I want to put it at the bottom of C. Colors of the Wind, I think he's drawing you very rarely more than 2 cards. I think quite often it's only going to draw you 1. Yeah, the point I was going to make, I think it's really easy to underrate an ability like this after we've been spoiled by things with by friends on the other side. And rest assured, we were spoiled by friends on the other side. Like that card was too good, almost. But I'm still not a big fan of this card. I really was hoping for a bit better from like Colors of the Wind, man. Like this song is legendary. But I feel like you could have just made this a 4-cost friends. Like that kind of would have been okay. Like this could have just been 4-cost Colors of the Wind song, draw 2 cards. Like I would have loved for that to have been the case. Because this automatically becomes an auto staple, and now it's a 4-cost. It's probably still very good, but like 3-cost friends was just a bit OP. So yeah, love this art. I don't think it's going to be impactful enough in the meta game. Now again, that could change in the future if we get more Duel Link stuff. But yeah, I'm not sold. I'm going to put it in not terrible, because if you do draw 2 cards with it, then like it's all right. Like, and it's the closest to friends that we have, really. But yeah, I'm not sold on Colors of the Wind. If they have a Pirate's Life in hand and Power Line on board, it's going to multiplayer. Otherwise, probably won't. But yeah, again, as soon as we start saying multiplayer, that changes on a lot of cards, right? But yeah, you're absolutely right. But yeah, I think outside of multiplayer, then I just don't think it's good enough. And it's such a shame, because this is a beautiful Enchanted, man. Like, tell me when I'm telling lies. This is stunning. This is stunning. And the base art, stunning. Legendary song. But yeah, man, it's a little heartbreaking that it's. I just wish it was a little better. But who knows in the future? Maybe there's more Duel Link cards and it becomes more consistent that you're going to draw more cards off of this. Maybe there's a Pocahontas who can tutor Colors of the Wind out the deck. In which case, fair. So yeah, at the moment I am whelmed, but could get better. Strike a Good Match as a reprint. A very, very good reprint to get, though. Again, any deck that specializes in songs or is a combo deck is going to be very pleased to get back Strike a Good Match. So I'm probably going to put it. To be honest, I could go for low A or high B. I would start with high B, but if people want to cause a riot and say Baker, I think that's a staple in the right deck, then you could absolutely convince me to do such a thing. Education or Elimination. 4-cost Dinkable Song, choose one. Either draw a card, and then chosen character of yours gets +1 lore and gains evasive into the start of your next. Or banish chosen damaged character. The fact that we have Malicious, Mean and Scary now automatically made any card that banished a damaged character marginally better. The fact that this one is inkable, big tick. The fact that this one is a song, big old tick. So I think this is actually pretty nice, reliable removal. But if you don't want to use it as removal, or you don't have the setup to ping something, then you can just draw yourself a card and give something evasive. I'm not quite seeing the ceiling that DKP is seeing. Like, I know DKP tweeted out this card and said, I don't think he used the word bonkers, but words to that effect. He was very high on it, let's put it that way. I am also high on it, but I'm not sure if I'm seeing the full potential the way our world champion is. So I've probably got a little bit of a learning curve when it comes to this card, but I still think it is pretty good, and I'm going to put it in high B tier straight away. I've had Infinity on the brain, this song with Beast Relentless, the green beast, yeah, pretty interesting. Education or Elimination with the music. Yeah, again, in Infinity, this is a completely different conversation. Is the mic a little quiet? I can certainly turn myself up. Let me know if it needs to come up any more, and I can turn the music down a touch more. Yeah, let me know if the music needs to come down or my voice needs to go up at any time or anything. Because I want this to be well heard. But yeah, Education or Elimination, I do think it's good. I'm going to put it in B. I could see it going up to A. I'm not seeing the S tier that our world champion is kind of... he hasn't said that, right? But I think he's higher on it than me. But I still think it's very good. It's high B or low A for me at this moment in time. I lost the chat. Chat, I've lost you. I've lost you. Hi from Tate. Tate? Hi, Tate. Which Tate? I know a lot of Tates. Combos of Legendary Todd you pulled too. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Again, there's synergies there. It's definitely staple or has a home. Like, I do think this is a very good card. Force of a great typhoon be a man. We've got 2-cost Ingable. Chosen character gets +5 strength this turn. So straight up, I only think this card ever matters in a Strength Matters deck. And I think the main cause of Strength Matters being good at all is this Maximus. Team Champion. Oh, it's that Tate. Hi, Tate. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. We've got Maximus, Team Champion, 6-cost Inkable, 3/5, quest for 2, royally big rewards. At the end of your turn, if you have any characters in play with 5 strength or more, gain 2 lore. If you have any in play with 10 strength or more, gain 5 lore instead. There were some interesting decks running this Maximus with Scepter of Arendelle, or Tiny Tim's Crutch, as it will be now. And like supporting this guy up to being a 10 strength character and then just gaining 5 lore at the end of the turn, which was pretty spicy, to be honest. Pretty fun red-blue deck. And I think Force of a Great Typhoon... Oops. I lost it. I think Force of a Great Typhoon is a very good card in a Maximus sort of deck. Anything where you're benefiting just from having characters over a certain strength. There's a couple of locations as well that if you challenge with a character of a certain strength, then you get to trigger an ability. So I think this goes in those sort of decks. I don't think you ever play this just from a perspective of, oh, I'm going to boost a guy and trade. Because, or not, maybe not trade as the case may be, because you're still you're two for one-ing. If you're trading, if you use this to boost up like a Diablo, well, let's not use Diablo, he draws a card, that's a bad example. You use this to boost a Tinkerbell. So she goes from a 3/1 to an 8/1, and now she's one-shotting basically everything in the game. You still gave up 2 cards for that one, and sometimes that's going to be reasonable if you took out like a really big threat, and maybe you got to pay far less ink than they did. But generally, you never look for 2-for-1 combos. That's not something you really prioritize when deck building. So I don't think you ever play this just as a, oh, I'm going to boost this guy up and make an efficient challenge. I think you only play this if you are playing cards that synergize around specific strengths. The Board Clear Ralph is a great example of a card that you might want to pair this with. To put him up to 8 strength, so now he is banishing everything on the board. Again, I'm not actually huge on that, on the new Legendary Ralph. I think it's too much set up, to be honest, but yeah, that is absolutely an example of a card that you might want to pair with this. But yeah, I don't think this card sees play out of like very specific Strength Matters decks. That plus Elsa takes out Phil. Philotete, his name is Philotete. Oops. Okay, good. Sorry, I thought I closed something really important that I need to deal with later then. My apologies. Okay, so where's Matthias got? Force of a Great Typhoon, where are you, lad? There you are. Is it you? Yeah. So yeah, Force of a Great Typhoon, I think it's not terrible. Like, you could argue for has a home, but I would need those Strength Matters decks to prove they are capable of doing something significant before I would want to call it a home. So I'm going to put not terrible. Like, there are synergies there with certain things, but overall I'm not hugely impressed. Taking us on to marching off to battle. We've got a 4-cost Ingable Song. If a character was banished this turn, draw 2 cards. This is another card that is very easy to underrate. I need to turn this light off. I'm way too hot, mate. I'm way too hot, mate. I'm a bit dark, but forgive me. Yeah, marching off the battle. I think it's another card that it's easy to underrate because we were so spoiled by friends on the other side. That being said, like, I think red-blue, again, is the deck where you put this deck, put this card, if anywhere, because that is the deck that is lacking card draw the most. If you're red-purple, then you have purple cards that can at least draw you cards. So yeah, like, I think this is a red-blue card. I don't see it going into red-purple, personally. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Like, if you've got a 4-cost character and you, like, play a 5-cost Headless Horseman and then you sing with your 4-drop, this. But, again, I don't think it's stock RP that's ever going to do that, because we're a Demona deck. We just want to play our curve out, empty our hand, and then play Demona. It's the same reason Hades looking for a deal doesn't really synergize with Demona all that well, and why I've not really been a big fan of Hades in that type of deck. Marching on to Battle Song is so good from the testing I've done in Red Steel. Yeah, Red Steel is a different conversation. Purely because this is in Ruby, it has more of a niche than Colours of the Wind. Yeah. Because it's a more specific condition. I think it's okay. I think red-blue, again, is like where this card really finds its home. There could be builds of red-purple that aren't stock, that maybe it finds its place. I'm going to put it in has a home. Like, I think red-blue, this is a high consideration, because you sing it with your Cindy or whatever, right? And the red-blue decks that are playing like Pete and the 7-cost red Pete that lets you banish a character if you have another Pete on the board. Maleficent, there's a Pete Monstrous Dragon if you control another Pete. And you play Maleficent anyway, so there's lots of cards in the deck that can banish a character, and then you sing this with your Cinderella or your whatever your 4-drop is. So I think red-blue is really where this has a home. It's potentially the best draw option for Ruby Steel. Not sure if there's enough there. Yeah, Ruby Steel is another deck where I could see it absolutely finding a home. So yeah, I'm a little higher on this one. I would probably put it around here for B tier. The cold never bothered me anyway. 3-cost Ingable Song. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal a location card and put it into your hand. Put the rest into your deck. You pay 3 ink less for the next location you play this turn. So, to talk about this in good faith, what I think we need to do is we need to take a look at the location stuff that we just got. Because we can't really rank this location focus card without comparing it to the synergy that is available. So if Dreamborn wants to hurry up for me. Okay, so let's talk about this new Elsa now. We actually pulled this today. Elsa Ice Artisan. 6-cost Ingable, 5/5 quest for 1, shift 4. When you play this character and when you play a location, you may exert chosen character with 3 strength or less. Pretty good. While this character is at a location, she gets +3 lore. So this is shift 4. If you are red-purple, then there is obviously the purple 3-drop Elsa, the 1/3 that lets you draw a card, who is a great shift option. Or you just play it with your Elsa 5th Spirit and you shift it later than turn 4, which might be something that you want to do anyway, depending on how much setup this deck requires. But yeah, there are some great shift options for this Elsa, and this ability is very strong. Like, if you can play a location, like for playing her and when you play a location, you're exerting characters of 3 strength or less. There's a lot of characters that already fit that mold, right? We've had excessive conversations about Headless Horseman and the amount of targets available for him. We need to do a full list of all the 3 strength or less characters where this Elsa will be able to exert them, but they will definitely be a significant amount of characters that fall into this range. And the fact that you can redo it whenever you play a location is also very interesting. And of course, if you're playing locations, you're probably going to have them on the board. It's probably not going to be too difficult to get this Elsa to a location, and then you're questing for 4 and you're a 5/5 body. So this, in a vacuum, sounds pretty good and pretty interesting. There's also the another shift target that we recently got, this Elsa. When you play this character, you pay 2 ink less for the next location you play this turn. 2 quests for 2. Seems like a very good shift option to have. And again, more ways to play your locations. And then we are getting the new location in Winterspell. Set Winterspell. Probably near the bottom. Yes, the Frozen Vine. Let's take a little ganders at this, my geezers. The Frozen Vine, monstrous plant. 3-cost Inkable, 1 to move there, 4 willpower, 2 lore, and persistent problem. When this location is banished, if there was an exerted character here, return this card from your discard to your hand. So, if you create a situation where they cannot deal with all of your threats being bodies and locations, if they have to choose, then they absolutely have to prioritize getting rid of the character. Well, not always, but they will whenever they can, right? Because they don't want this returning to your hand for free. If they have enough characters on board that they can just clean up everything, they take out all the characters and then take this out, then that's obviously the flaw for this card. But if they can't deal with everything and you make them choose, then they're probably going to prioritize getting rid of the characters so that you don't get this back for free. Which, would you rather have characters on the board or locations? It depends what other cards we're playing that synergize with locations, etc, etc. So... yeah, like, it's not necessarily a strict good or bad thing. It's going to depend on the rest of the deck. The point that I'm basically trying to build towards here by looking at the Elsas and the Frozen Vine is there are pieces here of a deck, and they clearly want red-purple to have some location synergy. I'm not convinced we have all the pieces yet. Worth pointing out, though, that I do think is kind of interesting and could end up going into this red-purple deck, is Whispers in the Well. We got Sleepy Hollow and Get to Safety. Now, Sleepy Hollow is a 3-cost inkable, 1 to move there, 6 willpower, no lore, and whenever a character quests while here, you can banish the location to gain 2 lore and give them evasive. That ability in itself is okay, like the 2 lore is nice, the evasive could absolutely be tricky for the opponent, it's alright. But we also have Get to Safety, 1-cost inkable action, pay a location with cost 3 or less from your discard for free. Then if you have a location named Sleepy Hollow in play, draw a card. There has been a revision in the comprehensive rules document where this now works as intended. Because this was intended to mean if you get back a Sleepy Hollow with this card, then you draw a card. But the way the rules were written meant that that wasn't the case. But I think it's been updated now so that it does work as intended. So if you get back a Sleepy Hollow with this, then you get to draw the card. But you don't just have to get back the Sleepy Hollow. You can get back Agrabah, which is a 3-cost inkable, 1 to move there, 5 willpower and 2 lore location. And of course you can play the new Frozen Vine with that action card. So there are certainly pieces here that I think are very interesting. I think there's enough to make a fun rogue deck. Is it enough to be meta? I'm not convinced immediately. I find it interesting we now have the term to ink instead of put into inkwell. I think it's a very positive change. It's just going to mean that they don't have to put as many words on card text, and it just cleans up language, so I'm a big fan. So yeah, the code never bothered me anyway. You look at the top 4, find a location, put it into your hand, and then if it's 3 or less, then you can play it for free. If it's more than 3, then you still get a reduced cost. In that location deck, this is probably a part of it. It is uninkable, which is a shame, but it's definitely going to be a part of that location deck. But it's just a question of how good is that location deck straight away. I'm actually going to put the Cold Never Bothered Me Anyway in Not Terrible. The Elsa that we just looked at a moment ago, if I can find her, here she is. This I'm going to put has a home. Like, absolutely. Like, this has a home in a red-purple location deck. We just don't know how good that deck's going to be at this time, right? I would put it towards the top. Because if that location deck does become a thing, then it is absolutely a staple of that deck. We don't know how good that deck's actually going to be, right? So yeah, I would put this in has a home, and then the location that we just looked at, the Vine. Here we go. Let me have another quick ganders. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is amazing. It's just it fits the criteria, right, of being a 3-cost location. The 2 lore is good. Like 4 willpower is like so easy to hit is the problem. But again, if they have to take out the character first, otherwise it's just going to get returned to your hand, and it is inkable. So yeah, at this moment in time, it's probably going to go around here, like bottom of has a home and top of not terrible is kind of where I want to put it. But did all of that yapping to make the point clear that if this red-purple location deck gets more pieces and ends up being more meta relevant, then all of these cards absolutely come up a tier. We're just not sure what that deck is going to look like. I'm not very high on the Vine, either am I. Like, I'm going to put it in not terrible because it's not terrible. It's inkable, it can gain you lore, but the deck as a whole hasn't come together yet to the point where I feel like I can, in good faith, put these cards up on to higher tiers. So that's that one. Grab your bow. My reveal cards, again, hope you enjoyed the dev meeting. A lot of work went into that. Very, very proud and happy of that. And I think this card is very interesting. The thing is, it's another card that I think goes in red-blue before red-purple. When I was building red-purple, I was looking at shift lines where we can actually shift on 3 into a 5-cost character and sing this. And there aren't that many, to be honest. I talked a little bit about Negaduck earlier, who is a 5-cost shift for 3. We don't have a 1-drop Negaduck, we only have a 2-drop Negaduck. Let's put it this way, if you do build a red deck where you have a shift line of a 5-cost character that you can shift in on turn 3 or 4, then I think this is stable. I think you absolutely include a couple of copies of this for the aggro matchup. I think red-blue, who just wants to go 2-4, and maybe it doesn't go 2-4-6, maybe it goes Keeler instead, and then plays a 5-drop on turn 4, and ramps into 7 with Keeler. In which case, yeah, but then you don't want to sing this with your 5-drop. You want to be, I don't know. I think maybe you play Mickey Mouse and you ramp that way. You ramp on 3 into a 5-drop. So you play a 5-drop on turn 4, and then on turn 5 you can sing this. Maybe that's still too late. I think red-blue is actually the main home for Grab Your Bow. I actually don't think it's going to end up in Ruby Amethyst decks unless we need more shift lines. Like in the future, if we get a shift line that Ruby Amethyst wants to play that we can shift on 3, then I think we immediately add Grab Your Bow. As it stands, I'm not sure it sees play in red-purple, but red-blue, I think it's very good. I'm probably going to put it in the middle of Has a Home. Could probably put it even higher, to be honest. It probably should be at the top of these cards. It's one of the best of these cards. And you could make an argument for Liquidator as well. Max Goof can sing it, that's true. Max Goof can indeed sing it, so that's the potential to sing it on turn 4. Yeah, if you're going to build Ruby Amethyst singers, and you're going to play Max Goof and Powerline, and be King Undisputed and all that sort of stuff, then yeah, in that sort of deck, I think you would play Grab Your Bow in that sort of red-purple singers deck. I don't think it goes in stock, but I think there's other versions of red-purple that you could see play. But I think red-blue is the place you're going to see it before anywhere else. So we're going to put it at the top of Has a Home. And that is not all the songs. Let It Go. Let's not waste any time. This is clearly like meta defining, right? Like this automatically goes in blue steel and red blue decks, right? Like, is this fair to just put Let It Go in as our first S tier card? Like, we know it's good. We know how often it's seen play, and it's just flat removal on something you can sing. Does anyone disagree that Let It Go should go straight into S tier? Let me know. Ruby Amber Control. Yeah, Red Yellow is another deck where you could play it for sure. Because you Mulan into Ruben into a turn 3 Horseman, and then you can sing it on turn 4. Did I ask if people agree or disagree? I'm not sure if people are... We've got Atlantine and Planet Sadala here. Yeah, are we in agreement that this just goes into S tier? And, like, we know it's good. Like, move on. Don't disagree. Curious how many Into the Unknown purple players now would Let It Go. It's probably a count of both. It's kind of awkward to play Sing. Sure. I still think it sees... I still think it ends up being, like, a 2 to 4 of in most decks, right? Let It Go S tier for sure. Yeah, I'm going to put it in S tier. That would be my choice. I think it's just... We know it's solid. Super good. Keep the Ancient Ways. 2-cost Ingable Song. Opponents can't play actions or items until the start of your next turn. Generally, I always prefer to have these abilities on a stick. We kind of got this the wrong way round, I think. I think we should have got this as a song first and then put it on a body. Because body is nearly always better. Obviously, singing is great because the way you can pay for a song. But I think I would always prefer Pete. I don't think this sees a lot of play in core. Even Pete isn't seeing a lot of play. It might see a little bit of play for against the green-blue decks. But not generally at more than a 3 count, and sometimes even lower. And I don't think you play this over Pete. There are certainly reasons to, like if you want more cards to play around Mowgli, then this is another action that you can like protect your more, like if you have this in a sail and you want to protect the sail from a Mowgli, then you'd rather throw this away. I don't think it's better than Pete, to be honest. In Infinity, it's nuts. Yeah, in Infinity, it's I was going to swear there. It is poo insane. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, trying to focus on core constructed, because otherwise we'll be here all day. But yeah, in Infinity, I absolutely agree. This is super, super good. Hi, Georgie plays around Raging Storm too. Yeah, but I'd still rather just play Pete, to be honest. Like, if you want more than 4 copies of Pete than in Core Constructed, then sure. But most of the decks I've seen playing Pete aren't even playing 4. So I don't think this is playing Core. But yeah, Infinity 100%. And then we've got Let's Get... Oh, I didn't actually rank it. We're just talking about cards. Keep the Ancient Ways. Yeah, for Core... I'm actually going to put it in Not Terrible. But it has a home. Like, if you want the Pete effect, but it benefits you more to have songs, etc., then sure. I think more than often people are going to prefer Pete. We'll put it at the bottom of has a home, but I would be inclined to put it in C. I'm going to be strict. I'm going to put it in C. In Core Constructed, this is C. This is not terrible, but I'm not. I am whelmed. I think the only deck it's better than Pete is Blue Steel. Potentially. I think I'd still rather have the body, but I could be convinced otherwise. And our final song is Let's Get Dangerous. 4-cost Ingable. Each player shuffles their deck and then reveals the top card. I'm so annoyed about that line of text. Like, reward me for playing a deck that sets up my deck. And yeah, there are other implications about it creating an opportunity to try and be a bit dishonest. So I'm not a big fan of the fact that you shuffle your deck to start for those 2 reasons. One, it minimizes opportunities to be dishonest. And again, I would like to be... If I choose to run Ursa's Cauldron in Infinity or Merlin's Cottage in Core, then by gold, I should be rewarded for that. Yes, you should absolutely, because again, it's not like I get to look through my deck and put something at the top. If I can play Merlin's Cottage and wait for the right time to play Let's Get Dangerous, why are you punishing me for that, my G? Let me cook, like, come on. It's so dark. I'm gonna put the light on again for a bit. So yeah, I wish that first line of text weren't there. Each player who reveals a character card may play that character for free, otherwise put the revealed card on the bottom of the player's deck. I saw a post by Wochuck saying that if you could ban anything, it would be this, because of partly what I've already mentioned, opportunities to be dishonest. But it's just such a high roll, man. Like, if you just YOLO this on turn... Okay, so you can play a Singer 4 on turn 2, so you can play as... Oh, you could just shift. You could shift into Rhino. Yeah, you could shift into Rhino on turn... You could sing this on turn 2. Becky's just trying to get his turn 3 Maleficent Dragon. Exactly! Exactly, if I can set it up, let me cook. The 9th rule of villainy, if all else fails, turn into a dragon. Yeah, Rhino can sing this on 2, which, I don't know how I feel about that. I love the effect. Shout out to French Calamango. I mentioned his name earlier. He is the gentleman who last year at Law League in Italy, which I was invited to, drew me this, like, for nothing. He is a big fan of Lorcana, is French. A lot of the artists appreciate Lorcana, not all of them follow it and play it, which is fair. They're artists, they've got lots to do, right? But there are some artists that follow the game to a degree, and like quite often, the ones that come to DLCs, you can quite often see playing the game and playing Pack Rush and playing with their own decks in the hotel lobbies in the evening. But it's a mix, right? Whereas French, hopefully you will all be very pleased to hear, French also did the Vanellope Von Schweetz, the 2-drop, the Ruby one that has evasive, laser snakes. But yeah, French loves Lorcana, and he follows Lorcana like quite intently, plays the game, watches content, all of that sort of stuff. And he was a fan of my channel, and he drew me this when I met him in Italy. Let me put it a little bit closer. So, biasly, a big fan of French for that reason, but I just love it when the Lorcana artists are like actively playing and following the game. You know what I mean? So a special shout out to French, who is a big Disney and Lorcana fan, and I think that this art is absolutely incredible. I think it's absolutely stunning. I love the Enchanted as well. The guy with the plug on his head is a Megavol. Oh, okay. Okay. And we've even got Liquidator in the background there. Yeah, this is awesome art. How do I feel about the card? I'm looking forward to trying it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. How good is it going to be? It's a bit YOLO, right? Like Amber Steel Mufasa vibes. I don't want to underrate it too much. Like, playing something for free. Obviously, the problem is whenever your opponent is getting that for free, right? You played this card from your hand. Like, you are replacing the Let's Get Dangerous for whatever card comes off the top of the deck. Your opponent playing this card gives your opponent a +1, essentially. Which is why I wish I could manipulate my own deck to try and increase the odds that I'm going to benefit more from this effect, but you can't have it all. You can't have it all. Let's Get Dangerous. Where are you? There you are. So where do I want to rank it? I think I'm going to put... Is it bottom of Has a Home or top of Not Terrible? Because it is more of a fun card. I'm not convinced it sees meta play. Pro players aren't the biggest fan of YOLOs. Like Mufasa was kind of fine because at least only you were benefiting from that YOLO, but you give your opponent a Philip or a Clarabelle or a Monstrous Dragon or whatever, then that just kind of feels bad. Playing Amber Steel circle decks for the memes. Yeah, I agree completely, but again, the point being for the memes. I'm probably going to put it towards the top of Not Terrible. It's a very, very fun card that I'm looking forward to trying out. But again, we're trying to be strict here and stick to the competitive metagame. And I think that's probably where I want to fit that card. So that is all of the songs. So we're at the 2-hour mark. I'm probably not going for more than another half an hour. So if there are any cards that you guys desperately want to hear me talk about and start to tier list. But don't get me wrong, we'll finish this like either tomorrow or the day after. We'll do another stream and finish off the list. But I can't go for longer than about another half an hour now. So we'll probably get to a certain point and then we'll finish this tier list off either tomorrow or the day after. To be confirmed. But we've got at least half an hour where I can go on a bit more. Set. So are there any cards that you guys are desperate to hear me talk about? It's also unfortunate that in Steel you want to be running other songs which would lower your chance of hitting. Exactly. No fun. Pudge and legendary cards. Okay, we can do Pudge and legendary cards. I think that makes a lot of sense. Pudge controls the weather. I think I've said enough. I'm going to go staple. I'm going to put it in A tier as a staple. Good friend, if you have a character named Lilo in play, you can play this character for free. Any aggro deck that's going to lean into this Pudge, the sort of aggro decks that were already like nearly felt impossible to beat on the draw, that just go absolutely wide as you like, and now they can go even wider with Pudge. They can just play it for free as long as they've got this Lilo down. Already on Lorcanito, I have been thrashed by this and watched people thrash people with this. Again, if you are playing anti-meta cards and you are ready for this, then I'm not saying it's unbeatable, but on the draw against any of these just Amber Steel or Amber Emerald go wide decks, then this is just one card more than we can probably deal with. I think this is absolutely insane. The fact that he's a deity, yeah, that's pretty fun. Someone on Fight Club hit me with 4 Pudge on turn 2. I love Fish God. Fight Club, yeah, I love Fish God. Yeah, this card is incredible in that specific archetype. And it just pushes them that bit over the edge, right? Because if they had these super aggressive double 1-drop on 2, like just go as wide as you can with 1 and 2 drop characters over the first few turns, they were already going super wide and sometimes more than we can deal with the Daisy Duck with high stats and bodyguards and Raja, the 3/4 bodyguard in Amber. But now they just have an extra character that they can always put down as long as they've got a Lilo on board. And the most impactful Lilo is actually the Steel one, in my opinion. Steel Lilo. Yeah, bundled up. 2 cost, uninkable, 1/2 quest for 2. During each opponent's turn, the first time this character would take damage, he takes no damage instead. So, like, kind of reminds you of Nala, who obviously had the resist. But you could still break that through that in, like, 1 challenge, right? Whereas now, you can never do that. You need 2 challenges, or you need to be able to do a ping with something and then a challenge. It requires more of your resources to get through Lilo, so I do think that she's better. So the fact that you can put down this Lilo on 2 and then immediately put down a couple of Pudges, especially against a deck that isn't low to the ground. Against the control decks, you maybe don't even need the Pudge, but it just wins you the game that turn sooner. Yeah, I think this Lilo and Pudge are very, very good. Yeah, where do I want to put Lilo? I think I kind of want to put her in Staple as well, to be honest, and just add for Amber Steel aggro decks. So where's Lilo? She's down here. And there is also the 1-drop Lilo that I think is okay and can be a reasonable shift target for the Lilo Rockstar, the Floodborn one. So yeah, I'm going to put this in Staples. Anyone want to disagree with me in this moment? I like this in decks where numbers matter. Yeah, anything where like you're lowering the numbers for Tramp, you want more Singers, you want to raise your Strength for a Raging Fire numbers, things like that. Like just anything that benefits from not just what characters you have on the board, but just by the amount of characters you have on the board being relevant for the deck and the synergies of the deck. So yeah, I think Pudge is absolutely a staple. I don't know if I want to call it meta defining, but Lilo I think I also want to call it a staple. So the request was we will do the legendaries to finish off today's festivities. Let's go back to Legendary and let's set Winterspell. Excuse me. Right, where do we want to start here? Let's look at Darkwing Duck. 7 cost Inkable, 6/8, quest for 2, shift 5. During your turn, whenever an item is banished, you may pay 1 ink to deal 2 damage to chosen character. And Evildoers beware, this character can challenge ready villain characters, and I take that absolutely personally. There is also an item that gives all of your opposing characters the villain classification. Again, I feel attacked. But that is pretty cool synergy, meaning this Darkwing Duck can just challenge anything that's ready. That's a pretty powerful ability. If you are playing a lot of cards that can banish items, or you just are playing items yourself that have a cost that then just allow you to banish them, that you pay this extra 1 to do 2 damage to a chosen character. These all sound like pretty good effects. Do we have what's our best shift option for Darkwing Duck in Steel? Let's have a look. With artifacts on this one, you can dump your whole hand and then just get eaten alive by Calhoun if you have to follow up or card draw. If you can dump your whole hand and then just get eaten alive by Calhoun. Yeah, sure, but you just strength the Calhoun or something when you've gone wide enough, right? There are certainly characters like Calhoun that can kind of check you and stop you turning sideways and are the right response cards of this sort of deck. But I still think like you can still get around it. Darkwing Duck. Shift targets. Yeah, we have a goon. We have a goon, my guys. Look at this art as well. This goes so incredibly hard. Sergio, you absolutely smashed it with this one-drop goon. Yeah, so again, you need to build a very specific deck to maximize the potential of this card. Playing just a goon as a shift target is fine. Just him being able to challenge ready villains is somewhat relevant. Things like Hades are probably the most relevant villain characters in metagame at the moment. There are others, but that's the first relevant one that comes to mind. Others in blue steel, like Namari, etc. And then, yeah, if you've got a full-on item deck where you are constantly banishing your own items to pay cost for an ability, then there's absolutely synergies here. And he is a 6/8. So I don't want to completely undersell this Darkwing Duck, but I'm hesitant to put it too high until I see the entirety of that deck start to come together, right? Where is he? Where's he gone? I've lost him. So I say I lost him. I never had him, to be honest. There he is. I found him. I'll put it in Has a Home. I think Sky was quite high on this card in Podkana, not the latest episode with Spessy, the one before. I can remember Sky being quite high on this card, if I remember rightly. So, yeah, it's like, we'll call it Has a Home. I think the stats are good. It has a 1-drop goon. It probably shifts a little bit too late. Maybe I want to put it in Not Terrible next to something like Let's Get Dangerous. Because, again, it's another one of those cards where you've got to build your whole deck around it. And how good is that deck going to be? I'm gonna be strict. I'm going to put it in Not Terrible for tonight. We've got Angel Experiment 624. 4-cost Ingable 3/3 quest for 1, or you have no cards in your hand, this character gains resist 2, and once during your turn you may choose and discard a card to deal 2 damage to chosen character. Now a card like this, it's easy to then start comparing it to, or pointing out the synergy, should I say, to cards like Dock, right? Like purple steel decks that just want to empty their hand anyway, and then they refresh with Dock or Demona. But you never want to be without any cards in your hand. You want to lower your hand size so that then you get max ceiling off of that Dock or Demona. If you're just emptying your hand to give this resist 2, then where is your draw coming from? Maybe you're playing cards like Yzma Conniving Chemist. Did they reprint Beast Mirror, the Steel first chapter card, where if you've got no cards in your hand, then you can draw a card? And maybe we get more things like that, other ways that we can draw cards from nothing. But other than that, like, I'm not crazy about this ability. I'm not too keen to just empty my hand just to give this boy resist 2. Choose and discard a card to deal 2 damage to chosen character. That part of the ability is obviously a lot better, and that, like, you can absolutely play into a Dock or a Demona strategy of just lowering your hand size before playing your Dock or Demona. So that second ability is actually very good. It's inkable, it's a 4-cost, 2 damage, and it doesn't have to be an already damaged character, is another very relevant part of that. So I do think this is kind of okay. Does it find a place in an Amethyst Steel deck? I'm probably going to put it actually here. In the past, I might have put it higher. Like, set 10, I was super high on David Xanatos. The 3-cost, who on play you can... It's the same ability. On play you can discard a card to do 2 ping. But it ended up not really seeing any play, and just the 2 ping wasn't really relevant enough for that point in the curve. And 4-cost is even more... Like, there's even more competition for cards that you want to be playing on turn 4. So I think I'm actually going to be more of a hater and put it in the C, not terrible tier, because it's an okay ability, but the last card that we had that did the same thing for 1 cheaper ended up being not great. So I'm not that high on either. Moana, Curious Explorer, 5-cost inkable 4/4 quest for 2. You can ink cards from your discard. Here's my take. I think it's awful. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit. Awful's definitely not a reasonable way of putting it. I don't think this is great. You can think about it in the respect of drawing a card, right? Because you don't need to ink a card from your hand anymore. You're inking from your discard. So something that would have been a resource in your hand, but instead you're inking it because you want to get to 7, 8, 9, whatever it is to unlock the full potential of your deck. But now because you're inking from the discard, then you can keep those cards in your hand and you can actually play them. So you can think of it as a card advantage engine. The problem is, by the time we've got to 5, we're basically right on the doorstep of all the cards we want to play as a Sapphire Ruby or Sapphire Steel deck. Like, you already kind of don't always want to play a 5-drop anyway. Like, you just want to go Cinderella into a turn 6 like Goliath or something like that. So sometimes you don't have time to put this down. Like, that's too slow if you're going, like, maybe you're ramping on 2 and then on 4, maybe you're playing Kida, maybe you're playing something else that's a 4-drop that isn't a ramping card, it's just something you need to stick on the board to contest the board. And then on your 5th turn, you're also going to do something that isn't really that impactful to the board. It's just, and again, you're setting up an engine to hopefully allow you to have more cards in the next few turns and to help you ink. But I think by the time we get to this turn, we already want to be doing more impactful things. I don't think this is really what we want to be doing. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're Ruby Sapphire, and I say Ruby Sapphire just because, like, Sapphire Steel isn't really playing any characters over an 8-cost, right? I think 8-cost is the highest they really go. They've got the Steel Headless Horseman. I think is the highest cost character that they want to play. But Ruby Sapphire obviously is going to play Maleficent Monstrous Dragon. So to get to that ink point, then this is going to help you get there a little sooner. But I still think it's just way too slow. I just do, guys. And again, like, if I end up being wrong, I will be the first person to say it. And I'm not saying that I think it's hot garbage is never going to see play, you're never going to see it in tournament. I don't think that's true either. I think there will be a deck to maximize this. And maybe it's just Ruby Sapphire. Maybe it ends up being Sapphire Steel as well. Again, like, Sapphire Steel isn't really like a pet deck for me. But I would have thought by the time they get to a 5 ink turn, they want to do something more impactful than this. Or they don't even want to play a 5-cost character. They just want to go 2, 4, 6 and then go Goliath into Hades, into impactful card, bomb, body, all this stuff. So I actually don't think this card is particularly fantastic, to be honest. I was so excited for this card, then I tested it, and with the emergence of Amber Steel, the lines that play this just felt awful. Almost prefer the new Bell. I don't know almost about it. I much prefer the new Bell. I much prefer the new Bell. And it's simply because it's a 4-cost instead of a 5. I think this just comes at the wrong point on the curve. Sure, if you're just ramping into multiple Maleficent Monstrous Dragons, then this is going to help you get there. But, and like, especially if you go turn 4 Cinderella, well, turn 3 Cinderella, after a turn 2 ramp, and then you play this Moana, and then you get to trigger the Cinderella again, then yeah, like, it does allow for a more accelerated ramp. But I think by the time you get to after your Cinderella turn, I think you need to be doing more impactful things than playing down this Moana. At least, even if it was something like Namari, then you were drawing a card and discarding a card, both when you play and at the start of your turn. So it was like a Hail Mary dig for a more important piece. But I think this just, setting this up as an engine is just a bit too slow. But why let you take advantage of turn 1 develop, turn 2 sail, and then you don't have to ink from your hand. It's pseudo card drawing away. Yeah, I mean, I know, but like, I'm not sure if you heard the last 20 minutes, Eric, but like, I in my opinion, that doesn't matter to me enough. I think you're being far too slow. You just went turn 1 develop, turn 2 sail or Tipo, turn 3 Cinderella, turn 4 you're gonna play this Moana, then turn 5 you're gonna play maybe Hades. Like, I think that's just too slow, mate. I think you just lost the game to anything that isn't another blue deck. So yeah, I am not crazy about this card. Let it be said that if this ends up being like an absolute 4-of staple in every blue deck, Baker was wrong. Likewise, I don't want it said that I said that it would never see play. Like, I think there will be a deck and there will be a curve, and we probably just haven't found it yet. It's proper home. Maybe it's Amber Sapphire. Maybe it is Amber Sapphire for Raging Storm plays. As it stands, I am not sold on this Moana. When it was first revealed, as often happens, there was a lot of like, oh my god, game's dead, broken, busted. And honestly, we have had cards come out that have scared me a lot more. But I am actually going to have the audacity to put this in. Not terrible. Like, I think some of these can be better at certain points in time. Maybe that's too harsh. Maybe it should be, it's at the bottom of has a home. I can't in good conscience put it above B. I just think she's quite interesting. She absolutely is. No disagreements there. No disagreements there. She is very interesting, but yeah, I'm not really sold on her. Like, I would put her in C, but I don't know if in good conscience I can say that she's worse than like this Elsa and this Liquidator and things like that. Like, she's better than this Elsa right away, I think. I probably want to do something like that. I think that's kind of how I want to do it. So yeah, I'm not sure how popular that opinion's going to be, but I'm always going to try and be honest, guys. And I'm not a believer in this Moana. Find a perfect match in B tier is wild. Talk to me, Alegal. Apologies if I'm saying your name wrong. Talk to me, my friend, because I think it has a home. I don't think you play it in every Emerald deck, which is where I kind of want for most of my staples. That being said, you wouldn't play like Pudge in every Amber deck, and you wouldn't necessarily play these in every Amber and Steel deck. You could make the argument to put it up to staples, absolutely. I don't know if you were here when we were talking about that earlier. But yeah, I think it has a home. It needs to be like a combo deck that just needs to dig for pieces, or a deck that specifically synergizes with a lot of songs. But yeah, I could see it going up to staples for sure. Congrats on the Eeyore, dude. Thank you, Brent Mackay, famous American DLC caster. You're my hero, dude. Good to see you, brother. Yes, Baker, Moana is so overrated. Thank you. You're welcome. Play it in Amber Steel and play it one less for play one less for Aurora. Aurora? Did I jump over something? It seems like it would go in a dog filter deck, but what would you give up for it, I guess? Yeah, I don't think it goes... I'm not sure it goes in dogs. I'm not convinced it goes in dogs. I think Tramp is enough for dogs. Yeah, I think I'm happy with it in Has a Home. But it could absolutely go up to Staple, for sure. Next legendary is going to be Scrooge McDuck. 6 cost Inkable. 4/6 quest for 2. Shift 4. When you play this character, you may put a card from the top of your deck face down under each of your other characters. If you do, those characters gain ward into the start of your next turn. I do not have time to now go through every boost card because we will go through all those boost cards when we finish our set review. We're not going to do that today. We will finish off this tier list in the next couple of days. But to adequately judge Scrooge, we need to look at every single boost card. That being said, if you are playing a boost-based deck, whether like the most competitive version of one or just a fun one, then I think a lot of the time this Scrooge McDuck is a part of it, just because of, again, he is providing everything we need for our boost characters to do their thing. And yeah, most of them say when you put a card under this character, then trigger ability. So most things should trigger from Spreading Joy, and then giving them ward sounds super, super good. So it depends how good these boost cards are going to be, right? Obviously, we know that some boost cards are good, like Cheshire Cat sees a ton of play, and there will be other good boost cards, but do we have a full-on boost deck? There's a fun boost deck there, for sure, that plays things like this Scrooge, and the other support one, is it the Donald Duck? But yeah, I mean, he's fine. Where is he? Where are you, Scrooge? Let's find you. There he is. So I'm probably going to put this in... I think we're going to put it in not terrible. I need to see more from the boost deck. If there is a deck which is predominantly boost characters, where we want to play a lot of these boost support cards like this Scrooge, then this goes up easily to like mid to high Has a Home, depending on how good that deck is. As it stands, maybe I want to put it at the bottom here. Maybe it's similar to Elsa, right? Like maybe we don't have all the pieces yet, but when we do, it is 100% going to be a piece of that pie. And I think there are lots of options to shift onto as well. Boost is largely overrated. Yeah, that's my thoughts, is that probably it's going to be largely overrated, and there are just certain boost cards that are just very good, like Cheshire Cat. Okay, so if you're with Emerald, you've got this Scrooge. If you're with Ruby, you've got this uninkable Ruby one. Sapphire, you've got this quest for 2 4-drop, which I don't think is good enough. Obviously there's this Resourceful Miser, but that's only going to go in an item deck. That's rotated out of format. So actually not a lot of shift options for the Scrooge. And I think a lot of the good boost cards are in either Amber or Emerald anyway. So you're probably locked into one of these Scrooges. And there's of course this uninkable one. Whenever a card is put into your ink, well, chosen character gets -1 strength this turn. Did this have to be uninkable? Like, did this really have to be uninkable? Like, were we breaking the game with Scrooge McDuck, Miserly Ebenezer? There we go, Miserly Ebenezer. This is very cool art. Yo, guys, why didn't we release? Why did we not release the set in December? Shut up. Yeah, I don't know, man. With not great shift targets, I think I'm actually gonna have to put it down to not terrible. That's why it's so miserable. Caesar was scared the deck design. Scared the devs, absolutely. Cecil OP. Okay, so that's Scrooge. We talked about Elsa. This was the Donald Duck. Let's just talk about this one straight away. Whenever you use the boost ability of a character, you may put the top card of your deck under them face down. And during opponent's turns, whenever one of your other characters is banished, you may draw a card for each card that was under them. This one I think is much better. Even if you've only got like a low count of boost characters, then you could probably still justify a certain amount of this Donald just because of the draw potential it gives you. I'm going to put it in B tier, Has a Home. Again, we don't know how good those boost decks are going to be, but I think this Donald is immediately better than the Scrooge. better statted as well, better costed. So I'm going to put this in low has a home. Again, might not have all the pieces of the deck yet, but it's certainly going to be interesting. Wreck-It Ralph, Raging Wrecker. 7 cost, uninkable. Where are we putting Donald? I put him in B, Fumbles. I mean, are you going to tell me off? What's up, Fumbles? Good to see you, brother. Raging Wrecker. 7 cost, uninkable. 3/4, quest for 3. Boost 1. Powered up. This character gets +1 strength for each card under him. Z tier. Is it that good, Fumbles? Because I will make a Z tier just for you, sexy boy. And who's coming with me? When this character is banished, banish all characters with strength equal to or less than the strength he had in play. I think this is probably a bit too much setup, honestly. Like, I'm sorry if you were hoping that, like, yo, a Ruby card that kind of does a board wipe thing. Baker's going to be all over this. And I am indeed all over this. Unfortunately, I don't think it's great. I think it's a bit too much setup. Like, banishing your own characters as well isn't necessarily the worst thing. Like, again, Be Prepared did exactly that, and we all know that I have a modest appreciation for Be Prepared. But, like, when you put this character down, you either have to then invest in boosting him to get his strength up high enough that he's taking out the Clarabelle, the Goliath, those sort of, like, big body, the Prince Philip, the big bodies from the green and blue and, to a degree, red decks, like Maleficent and stuff like that. So if you want it to take out those big boys, you've got to then invest. You've got to boost it, or you've got to have things like Lumiere on the board to boost his strength up, and then you are even less inclined to want to wipe your own board. Like the best B preps were always when you had nothing on board, or maybe 1 or 2 things, and your opponent had a wide board. I don't want to be investing more onto the board just to have the desired effect of wiping said board. I want 1 card to be able to do it. Or again, like Prince Philip combo is 2 cards. 1 card set up, and then you get to wipe the board. But the difference there is the Prince Philip gets to stick around, and so do all of your characters. You're not touching your own characters. This is wiping your own board, so I don't know if I want to put the time and commitment into setting this up to be a high roll. That being said, if you're against aggro, then you're probably just popping all their characters anyway. That being said, if you're playing aggro, you're probably not getting to turn 7, and if you do, like, it's too late. Like, you've either lost the game, or you've done a good job of controlling the board with maybe you're putting in Daring Visitor Sisus. Maybe we go back to the red-purple Medusa that bounces a 2 cost or less to the hand. Like, red-purple has a lot of tools to deal with aggro already. I'm not sure in what world we're turning to Wreck-It Ralph to help in that matchup. I think I would only want Wreck-It Ralph if he was contributing towards the control matchups. Blurple, Emerald, Sapphire, etc. And against those decks, the Wreck-It Ralph on his own is not really enough. He gets rid of the Hades, 3 strength, but if I want to get rid of Clarabelle, or Prince Philip, or Basil, those sort of things, then it's just not cutting it for me, Chief, to be honest. This card is awful. There you go. Candy Drift, my friend. Sure, okay, so I played Candy Drift. So I played this Wreck-It Ralph, right? I played 7 ink for it. And then he sat there for a turn. And then next turn I played Candy Drift. And then that meant that I got to add 5 strength, I think, or maybe even higher. I think you become an 8/4, and at the end of the turn, that card banishes my Wreck-It Ralph, and then banishes everything. So I spent 2 turns to get the desired effect of just breaking the board, and they were still able to quest out over that. That sounds awful. It sounds way too slow, way too much setup for something that is also affecting your board. Now, if it wasn't just your board, and it was just the opponent, like when this character is banished, banish all opposing characters with strength equal to or less than the strength he had in play. Completely different conversation. But I am not investing a 7-drop Wreck-It Ralph and then playing the Candy Drift, all of that, just to then wipe everything. I don't know if it's enough, mate. Like, Prince Philip combo is fine because you get to keep the Philip, and you get to keep your own board. Like, Prince Philip combo would not be good if he wiped himself. I don't think so anyway. I'm not sold. Don't get me wrong, I want races to be good, and I'd love to play more Wreck-It Ralph and Candy Drift and Candy cards. But I'm not seeing it, Chief. Now, from a fun perspective, I want to make this entirely clear to everyone. When we get to, like, rogue decks and the sort of cards that I'm going to be excited about and having fun with, absolutely. You know me. Of course I'm going to sleeve this up. Of course I'm going to... Oh, no, he's not a razor. Atlantine, let me be. Let me live. Like, you know me, guys. Come on. Like, of course I'm going to sleeve this up. Of course I'm going to make a rogue deck with this. Of course I'm going to have some fun with this Wreck-It Ralph. I'm very excited to enjoy the card and to be excited and see how many cards I can invest into a board wipe. But we are just trying to keep today as a, hey, let's just focus on core constructive, competitive meta and try and keep the conversation relatively professional. And on that basis, I don't think this is a good card. In fact, I think it is a god-awful card. But I am very much looking forward to having some fun with it and sleeving it up and making a rogue deck. Like, please, never forget that. Y'all know me. I want to have some fun with the IPs and the fun cards and the rogue decks. But when it comes to competitive meta decks, I'm sorry, Raging Wrecker, you ain't it. Tinkerbell, Snowflake Collector. If you've not hit the like button, please do so, my villains. It's been a great stream. We opened up a box of Winterspell. For those of you that were not here, I will quickly show off. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, hell yeah. And fun fact, if you weren't in the stream earlier, I actually got Mama Villain to come and react to the Eeyore, which was a very lovely moment. And the chat were very lovely and sweet. I'm very grateful for it. Where's the chat gone? Well, you did have a Mama Villain reveal. You did have a Mama Villain reveal. But yeah, big up to everyone in the chat. We're not going to go too much longer. We're just going to finish off these legendaries and then we're going to call it a day. And I will finish off my review and tier list within the next couple of days. Tinkerbell, Snowflake Collector. 3-cost Inkable, 3/3, excuse me, quest for 1. While you have 4 or more cards in your hand, this character gains evasive. And while you have 7 or more cards in your hand, excuse me, I do apologise, this character gets +3 lore. I think I actually already reviewed this card when it first came out, but just as an overview, meh, she's alright. The problem is, Lorcana is a game that punishes you for even thinking about having a large hand. That's the problem. Artavax actually articulated this very well ages ago, before he took his break, before Christmas, that I am just so punished for wanting to play a deck that wants to draw a lot of cards because of things like Clarabelle and Bend to My Will and like, again, that's enough. I know that's only in 1 ink color, but that's enough, right? Like, those are popular decks. Clarabelle just makes you not want to play in that way where you're accumulating a lot of cards. Like, old school red purple would not be able to live like just bouncing rabbits and singing friends and drawing to a 7, 8, 9, 10 card hand, because you just get punished for it against the green decks. And I don't think much has changed. I think maybe if you are a Blurple deck and you want to sing second star to the right, like you want to play this Tinkerbell while you've already got a couple of singers on board, and then next turn you sing second star to the right, draw to 7. Well, you draw 5 cards, but hopefully you've already got at least 2 cards in your hand, so you can get at least 7. And then you quest this for 4. Meh, I'm still not overly impressed. Having 4 or more cards in your hand is fairly reasonable, and gaining evasive. Sure, if you are like Purple Steel, do you want to play this over the Fast Flyer Tinkerbell, the 1/3 with evasive? Because obviously this one is like, the thing is, this only quests for 1. I don't know if you do, right? I think I'd rather play the Fast Flyer, the 1/3, because at least that always quests for 2. I mean, the art is very nice. I also think the Set Championship promo version of the art is very nice. But I'm not a fan of the card in meta, to be honest. And I think if you just want like a shift target, I think, because the Fast Flyer is the 3-cost. I think you would always play that one over this one. But how low do I want to put it? Do I want to call it not good enough? I think I do, right? Goliath punishes big hand. Yeah, Goliath, there you go. That's another one that doesn't want me to have a hand. This card sucks. In regular Purple Steel, this won't even have evasive that often. Agreed. That's what I mean, right? I'd just rather have the Fast Flyer. Is this our first unplayable card? Are we really considering? I don't know. I don't think... Maybe you just want 5th 3-cost Tinkerbell. We're going to put it in D tier. We are going to put it in D tier. I think it's not good enough. I don't think it's great. That's the Tink. So we've got Anna, Todd, Pocahontas, and Ahana means family. Let's do Pocahontas. What's up, brother? What's up, 20? Yo, acknowledge me. Welcome on out, guys. Good to see you. 20 took me to the beach, guys. 20 took me to the beach. And I was very, very, very grateful for it. I had a wonderful day. There's a members-only video coming in the next few days. Me talking all about the Miami experience in a lot of detail. But good to see you, 20. Always a pleasure, man. Could become an interesting addition once Genie rotates out, depending on what the next core package has in mind with Dumbo. Yeah, again, by the time Genie rotates out, so will the other free cost of the Fast Flyer Tinkerbell. So, yeah, like, post-rotation, who knows? But currently, I don't think she's great. Pocahontas, Peacekeeper, 5-cost Inkable, 3/6 quest for 2, shift 3. When you play this character, if you use shift to play her and none of your characters challenge this turn, characters can't challenge until the start of your next turn. Here's a take. We get a 1-drop Pocahontas, a 2/2, a Goon. This is insane. Insane if we get a Goon. At the moment, the cheapest we have, I think, is a 2-cost. Is it 2 or is it a 3-cost? Is it a 1 or is it a 2 or 3-cost? Do we have a 2-drop? In purple, we have a 2-drop, uninkable. Outside of that, it's free. And I think that just makes it maybe a touch too late. The shift condition makes this very meh, in my opinion. I don't know, man. Like, if we had a 1-drop Goon, Pocahontas, and then we can go, like, Double Daisy, or Nala, or the other new, the Stitch we just got. And then on turn 3, we play, like, a 2 and a 1-drop. And then on turn 4, we shift this and turn everything sideways and then also play a 1-drop. I don't know. I think with a 1-drop Goon, I think this is kind of mad. And I've tried to not talk too much about Infinity tonight because we're looking at all of these cards in a sandbox with core constructed. But in Infinity, if we get a 1-drop, I think this is absolutely bonkers. You sing this on turn 3. You sing a whole new world with this on turn 3. What the hell? Does aggro need this? Is Pudge and Diana not enough? Maybe, but I still think with a 1-drop with a Goon, I think this becomes a lot better. Maybe you don't shift it on 3. Maybe you don't shift it on curve and you wait a turn or 2. But I think this is super busted, man, if we had a 1-drop. But Infinity in particular, I think this is pretty insane. Maybe I'm overrating it, but as it stands without a 1-drop and with our cheapest being a 2-drop, which means you have to play purple, which to be fair, yellow, purple are hyper aggro colors. I'm super high on this Pocahontas. Maybe this is a miss. Maybe this is a miss for me, but but again, only in the context of having a 1-drop Goon, right? I think our current shift targets aren't enough. But yeah, I think if we get a 1-drop Goon, then this becomes very, 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 very good. We've got Anna, Soothing Sister, 5-cost Inkable, 5/5 quest for 1. If a card left a player's discard this turn, this card gains shift 0. First time we've had that. And whenever this character quests, you may gain lore equal to the lore of a character card in your discard. If you do, put that card on the bottom of your deck. So let's look at our Annas. Because shift 0, as long as a card left the discard, is pretty good. And it can be either player. What Annas do we have? Let's go Poiple. So we got the new Little Sister. There's the Icebreaker if you're blue-purple. There's the 3-cost uninkable Eager Acolyte, who forces your opponent to exert something. So, probably just this one, which, to be fair, when you play this character, you may put a card from chosen player's discard on the bottom of their deck. Yeah, so, if they went, like, Develop Your Brain on turn 1, or they played Sail on 2 and you're on the draw, this one is more playable than I thought, but still not great. Yeah, I think that's probably pretty accurate. Yeah, if they developed on 1 or they sailed on 2 and you're on the draw, then you can play this Anna, shuffle the card, sorry, you don't shuffle, you put the card from the discard at the bottom of their deck, and then you can immediately just shift into this Anna. That, in theory, sounds pretty good. The thing is, you're gaining lore equal to a character in your discard, so then you shuffle that. You have to keep fueling your discard to keep characters there that Arna can actually benefit from. I actually think the main benefit for Arna is going to be the ability to sing a 5-cost song on turn 2. I actually think that's more related to where this Arna will shine, and her ability to sing a song on turn 2, whether that be a 5-cost song, or maybe you're playing a 6-cost sing together song. You go like 1-drop, maybe even like Angel, maybe even Angel on the draw into 2-cost Arna. Again, there has to be something that you can put back in the deck, which isn't always going to be the case. But yeah, like Angel into this Arna, and then turn 3 sing together 8. That sounds quite fun. You can take something out of your own discard so you can enable it with your own turn 1 play. Yeah, if your 1-drop made its way into the discard, right? That's not always an assured thing. If you play like a Mulan, or the other looters, or even the new Gantu, who lets you discard a card when you play him, the 1-drop, then yeah, there are characters that can set this up for you, but are you always going to have them? Are they in the color combination that you want to play this card with? But yeah, I think the ceiling for this card is the ability to sing a 5-cost song on turn 2, or a sing together 6, or a sing together 8 on turn 2 if you're playing with Amber and Angel. The card for the text, like the Warm Heart ability, I think is alright. Again, if you're playing a deck that mills a lot, you're putting a lot of cards in your discard, maybe you can put something in there with 3 or 4 lore and quest big, then obviously that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think she's going to excel mostly as a singer. You'll be singing a 5-cost song on turn 3 unless the little Lana will still be drying. Yeah, true. Yeah, you are right. Yeah. My mistake. Yeah, we would need a 1-drop Arna. Yeah, you are right, Brian. My apologies. That's my mistake there. Because you can shift it straight away, but you can't sing it straight away. So yeah, and that being said, we can already sing 5-cost songs on turn 3 by shifting. So maybe we need a 1-drop Arna. I am not too high on this card. After that, maybe 5 minutes of conversation, I'm not huge on her. I don't think she's awful. I'm going to put her in Has a Home. I think with a 1-drop Arna, it unlocks a bit more for her, but I'm not completely sold from day one, to be honest. 2 cards left to rate now, my villains. Again, a huge thank you to everyone for coming out. If you've not hit the like button, do please do so. It makes my little villainous heart sing. Ohana means family. 3-cost inkable. Remove all damage from chosen character of yours. Draw a card for each 1 damage removed this way. Not as good as Rapunzel because we're not putting a body on the board. I know the ceiling is higher here. You could potentially draw 4, 5, 6 cards depending on the size of your body. But if it does have that bigger body, then it's probably a higher costed character, so you're not playing Lost until later on in the game. Maybe that's not a problem. Maybe it's fine that you don't play this until turn 5, 6, 7 onwards. But I still think Rapunzel is out and out better. That being said, this is our Rapunzel gone. We don't have that ability anymore. This is that ability on an action. 3-cost is nice. The fact that this is inkable means this is a lot more flexible. And it opens up Amber Ruby strategies, right? With Mulan or Farzu, sure, those 2 characters in particular are only drawing you 2 cards, but a 3-cost action that draws 2 cards. Junior Woodchuck Guidebook sees play. I know it's not exactly the same, but close enough. So I think that's good enough, even though this requires setup. If you're playing a Ruby deck that has these characters that enter play with damage, then that's easily done. Or if you're just playing big bodies, where it is quite reasonable to play something with 5, 6, 7 willpower and have it take a challenge. Maybe it takes that character out and then you're healing 3, 4, 5 damage from your character. Nonetheless, I think Ohana Meets Family is one of the best pieces of card draw that Amber has got in Core Constructed. How good are those decks going to be? That Amber Steel deck, or that Amber Ruby deck, or Amber Sapphire? We are still to... we don't know. There is experimentation, there is testing to be done, but I am going to put this in Staples, and I'm probably going to put it towards the top of Staples. I don't know if I can put it in meta-defining until I see how strong these decks are going to be that include it. Because something like Let It Go, we know Blurb was going to play it. We know Ruby Sapphire is going to play it. Blurple is a proven product. We know that Blurple is very, very good. Emerald Sapphire also may want to play this card. That is already a proven deck, right? Red Blue has fallen off, but this is a card that will probably help that archetype. Whereas these Amber decks that are going to use Ohana Means Family, I'm not sure if they're all proven decks yet. So I'm going to put it in staples, but it could absolutely go up to meta defining. All staples are Lilo and Stitch, you know. That was not intentional, but you are right. Snowboarder Stitch could be meta defining. I actually think Snowboarder Stitch is meta defining, to be honest. But it's similar to Ohana Means Family, where like we need to see those decks need to prove themselves, right? The Ruby Amber decks or whatever you want to pair this Stitch with. I think it's at least staples, but I could see it going here, but I'm going to put it in staples. Since you bring it up, we'll just rate it here and there. Lilo and Stitch decks at movie night are going to be insane. By the way, we're going to finish in a minute. Is there anyone else streaming either on YouTube or Twitch that we can do a raid? Like, it won't be an automatic raid the way they can do it on Twitch, where I can drag you all over there. I would just have to put the link to the stream that we're going to raid in the chat. But if anyone's got any suggestions for someone where we could send this love in a few minutes, then please let me know. That being said, let's move on to the final card we're going to talk about today. Again, we've still got a lot to rank, but again, lots to talk about either tomorrow or the day after. But let's finish off on Todd. Disney really doing work with Lilo and Stitch to help us forget the remake by giving us good Lorcana cards. I haven't seen the remake yet, to be honest. I'm not sure I will. Todd knows, or is JDZ streaming? Oh, mate, we'll do that after this. We'll do our... Don't go anywhere when we're about to end the stream, because we're going to go over together, and it's going to be a villain... We'll do a villain takeover. Hashtag villain takeover. And see if we can scare JD. It'll be fun. Todd knows all the tricks. 7 cost Ingable, 6/6. Yeah, 6/6, quest for 2, shift 5, evasive, and twice during your turn, whenever this character is chosen for an action or an item's ability, you may ready him. And they gave us, for some reason, my guys, they gave us a goon. They gave us a 1-drop, 2/2, Todd all alone. Oh, come on now. I'm not going to harm you. Oh, I can't watch it, man. I cannot watch Fox and the Hound again. Yeah. So we got a goon. We also got this 4-cost Todd, who I think is kind of good, if I remember rightly. 4-cost Inkable 2, 4 quests for 2. Whenever you quest, you can either gain a lore, so shift quest for 3, or give chosen character of yours evasive, and that can also be himself. You can absolutely play multiple Todds here. I think you play like 4 Goon Todd and like maybe 2 of the Playful kit. And yeah, I think this is... Mate, look at this Enchanted version as well. Like, this is what I mean when I say every set is my new favourite set of Enchanted. It's like, look at this, mate. Look at this. Yeah, the fact that this is... He can shift on 5. 6/6 is a huge stat line. Again, there is World's Greatest Criminal Mind and Horseman Strikes that can just remove this. But outside of those decks, this is so tough to answer. Outside of Amber, sorry. This is so tough to answer. And twice during your turn, whenever this character is chosen for an action or item's ability, you may ready him, and it does not say he may not quest for the rest of the turn. So if you can target this with any action or ability, action or item that actually has to target something, then this is bonkers. Like, let's just very quickly... Legality, core constructed, type, actions. And it has to be something that you do during your turn as well. So what can we like target this Todd with and then just ready him back up? Let's look at the like cheap stuff first. Look at the cheap stuff. I mean, hey, if you Ohana Means Family, then he can ready and he can quest again. Even Candy Drift, like, yeah, you lose the character at the end of the turn, but... Oh, no, you can't because it's dueling. Ignore me. I'm an idiot. Good job. Yo, good job. Good job. Chosen character gets +1 lore this turn. Yo. Buy your foil, get jobs. Hypnotic Strength, yeah, that's a perfectly reason. If you want to play purple-green, Hypnotic Strength, just you draw a card, give him +2 strength, and you get to ready him up again. What else? That actually is like gonna see play. Improvise is perfectly reasonable. Yeah, so improvise, hypnotic strength. Good job. Good job, boy. What else? You came back, you can already quest again, so you don't need to do that. I guess next up Olympus. Yo, red green. Todd next up Olympus. Promising lead with Emerald Sapphire. Improvise probably the most realistic option. Yeah, agreed. What's promising lead? What is promising lead? Did I pass that? It's a new card, right? Or is it set 10, a detective phase 1? Where is promising lead? What's it do? But yeah, next up Olympus I think is reasonable. Twitter patted, give him evasive. I mean, you can already give him. He already has evasive, but screw it. There's more evasive. Here's promising lead. 2 cost for Sapphire. Chosen character gets +1 lure and gains support this turn. Yeah, if you're Emerald Sapphire, absolutely promising lead sounds good. Chosen character -2 draw a card. Yeah, so to be honest, probably just like promising lead, improvise, hypnotic strength, and good job if you're going for the Oko. Yeah, there are certainly enough relevant actions there that can target, and that's before we even start looking at items that can target as well. Yeah, I think this Todd is going to be... I'm actually tempted to put it in meta defining straight away. You tell me, everyone right now, S or A, type it. Type it now. Is this an S card or is this an A? Tell me right now. I need to see it in chat. You are deciding. You are deciding. I'm open to either. But I'm going to let chat decide. Where does he go? Is he a meta-defining card? Do we believe in Todd that much right from the start? Or, excuse me. Or is he a staple? Is he just a, like, yo, he's pretty good. He's staple. He's not going to define no metas, but let's see it. Atlantine says A. Chelino says S. A. S. A. S. A. A. Okay, that's one more A. Give another 10 seconds. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking? Todd plus Copper equals quest 3 times. We've got A tier from Bear. He's a world's greatest equipment of mine target. And he's also a Horseman Strikes target. Like, you don't want him against Amber. They have so many answers to it. It's definitely a card you can build a full deck around. As good as he is, there's a lot of single target hate in this game. Yeah, I think that's the main problem. I think the fact that, like, the Amber decks get to run 8 cards that just destroy him. That being said, you can shift him, right? If you can shift him and then immediately quest and then target him with an action or item. Like, if you get 6 lore out of him, or 4 lore before he does anything, then are we happy with that? And then, like, if he quests for 4 or more, and then he gets banished the next turn, are we not just kind of okay with that? Thoughts? And if you lose him, you have lost more than just him. Yeah, you lost the shift target. Let us not forget. With that said, he's a menace. We're gonna go with A tier. We're gonna put him in staple, but I think we're all in agreement that like this Todd is absolutely one to look out for. 100%. 100% of the time, and that is all the legendaries. All right, my friends, give me a moment. Don't go anywhere. I am going to... Yo, how crazy is it that we have, like, roughly the same amount of people watching our streams? Imagine it's all the same people. Right, I'm going to grab the link. Don't do it yet, guys. I want us to all be there together. Like, please don't go in there yet. I'm posting the link. This is JDZ's stream. You can go in there yet, but don't say anything yet. We're going to do the thing, okay?
Simba, Tug of War.
And I've just typed hashtag villain takeover. I want you all to copy and paste hashtag villain takeover, or retype it out if you want to. And then as soon as you see me type it in JDZ's chat, I want you all to spam it, alright? I want to see at least 10 of yous. At least 10 of yous, alright? But with all that said, thank you so much for joining me for this stream. If you were here from the beginning and checked out the box opening and then starting our review and tier list for Winterspell, I am very, very, very excited for Winterspell, and I hope you guys are too. Make sure you've clicked over to JDZ's stream, get that up, and as soon as you see me type hashtag villain takeover, I want you all to do the same thing. Okay, but we will end the stream first. Let me turn up my music. Get rid of that. Alright, we will see you very soon.
Mufasa. I didn't even play set one. If there's a John Silver in this pack, he's for sure going to get eaten. That's a no doubt. That is a no doubt lock. That's a take it to the bank. If this is a John Silver, he's going in my belly for sure. For sure. Yo, Villain take over the chat. Villain takes over. Oh no. What am I going to do? Hold up. Hold up. We got a real one in the building holding it down. The Lorcana Villain. Hold up. Wait. Hold up. Let me play this.